again, Internet. Are we back? We're live, and my mic is working. Sorry for that brief interlude. OBS thinks it knows what the default is, and it doesn't. But I hope you can hear me, and I hope you can hear all of these lovely folks. Lovely folks, give a hello, and we'll test out your voices.
Hi.
Hello.
Wonderful. Thank you for tuning in. This is First Fridays. You might be thinking to yourself, it's not the first Friday of the month. Time is a construct, doesn't matter. We are super excited to bring you a game of Masks run by our guest GM, Candace the Magnificent. And as you can notice by the birthday balloons, it is their birthday. So we're going to show a super, pun intended, amount of love to Candace. Very excited to be here with all of you. I'm Allison. This is Insight Checks, First Fridays, guest GM rotating series. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to our guest GM to take us on an adventure.
Hello, everyone. Today, as Allison said, we are going to be playing Masks. Super excited to bring this to you from the comfort of our respective homes. First, let's go around. I'm Candace Magnificent, as Allison has already introduced. You can find me at that Candace Girl on Twitter, at Candace the Magnificent, everywhere else. I am going to be your GM today, or your narrator, whatever it's called in this game. And I'd like to go around and have my incredible cast introduce themselves. Please let us know your name, your pronouns, where people can find you, and then go into your character. Just give like a little bit of a blurb about who your character is, their pronouns, and what kind of powers they have, what kind of playbook you're working with. Let's start with Bob.
Oh, okay. Starting things off. I am Bob McDonald. A lot of people know me as at Stage Outlaw on Twitter and Instagram, but I also call myself Best Bob there because people call me Best Bob for some reason. I do all those things. I play TTRPGs all over the place, and what do I have to do? My character, I am playing Connor Coolidge by day. At night, he is the superhero kid Whiplash, and he is the legacy playbook. So he's got, and I picked the superset of super speed, regeneration, phasing, speed reading and learning, air manipulation, gadgetry, and Holmesian deduction. So he's a bit of jack of all trades, and hope to have fun with him here.
Awesome. That is wonderful. Next up, let's do Jen.
Hi, I'm Jen. I do many things all over the space. You've probably seen me in lots of different TTRPGs at this point. Wouldn't be surprised if you're sick of my face, but here it is. And I'm totally not wearing the same shirt I was wearing last night over on somebody else's channel. It's been that week. So you can find me on Twitter, Jen Geeky. I am playing Grace, who is the protege. A little bit of incorporating my own immigration story into the character, who has a Korean shaman, also known as a mudang, Harmony, which is grandmother, who is her mentor and is kind of like forcing upon her the old ways, as she's also trying to resist some of them at the same time. And yeah, that's all I got.
Awesome. Up next, let's go to Piper Matihi. Please tell us more.
It's me. Hello.
It is you.
Hi, I'm Piper or Peppa or any other names, mostly Matihi. You can find me on Twitter at Maddie Matihi. You can also find me sometimes on Twitch at Matihi. And today I am playing Fergus. They use any pronouns, so she, her, his. Whatever you feel in the moment. Of course, don't stick to one. It's always good to oscillate. I'm doing the Beacon playbook. Basically the one with not really any powers at all. I'm really good at acrobatics, and I'm really good with swords because, while you were flirting with people, I was studying the blade. I'm also a bassist in a band called the Flames Over Fawn. They don't let me sing because my voice isn't that great, but I'm trying really hard. I also have a Tamagotchi as a pet. I call them Scotty Don't. They're real cute. And that's me.
Fantastic. And then last but not least, our amazing and gracious host, Allison.
Hi, Hi, everyone. I'm Allison, or Insight Checked. I play TTRPGs and video games, narrative based typically. And my character tonight is Teddy by day. Teddy was formerly a scrawny, kind of physically diminutive high schooler that was picked on a lot and not really sure of himself in the world. And wanted to be more powerful. And due to a lab experiment of his mother's doing, which she has not forgiven herself for, by the way, he turned into a rock person. Solid as a rock, made of rock, heavy, tough, punches through walls, and doesn't need to eat because he's a rock. And as you can imagine, this changed his high school life entirely. And now he goes by Flint the Crusher. But he's still Teddy inside. And so he's having some conflicts about that.
That's adorable. I love these characters. You guys are so wonderful. Okay, so to get us started then, and kick things off, let's go through and decide who has connections. Masks, if our audience doesn't know, is a really interesting Powered by the Apocalypse game by Magpie Official. And basically it's a setting where everybody is playing teenagers who are superheroes, kind of like Young Justice or Teen Titans. A lot of your favorite kind of tropes out there. Each of them, as you could hear, have different playbooks and play styles that they have, different powers that they can choose. So we're going to try and showcase those a little bit tonight. And it's also kind of known for its Hallmark teen drama. So we'll see if there's drama tonight. I mean, there's almost always drama in my game, let's be real. But we'll see how much drama there is tonight. Okay, so let's see. I have some connections that I would like to ask everybody about. Let's start with the beacon. So we're going to start off with Teehee. Fergus, so here are the questions. Who draws attention to your inadequacies? Who praises your best traits? Who would you make pay for their audacity? Who compares you the most to others? Or who plays to their drives? If you can pick two of those, what do you think?
Oh, goodness. I have to think. I'm trying to find the questions and I cannot find them on this sheet.
Hold on a second. I actually think there's like other questions that are a little bit more kind of juicy
Bring the juice.
that are in
Yeah.
your play sheet.
Give
Yeah,
us
they're
the
in your
juice.
playbook.
Yeah.
Let's do that. I like that more. Okay.
Okay, I'll try to remember all the questions.
Relationships. Okay, so this one's going to be easier because it's in sentence form.
Oh, I
Blank.
yeah.
Blank is awesome, and you take every chance you can get to hang out with them.
Ooh. Oh gosh. Let's see. I feel like I really want to hang out with Grace. And
Okay.
I think you're super awesome. And I always want to hang out with you. And I'm like, hey, like I got this new track on my mixtape. You want to like hear it? Please. Yes.
That's adorable.
Yay.
That's perfect. And then you've got to prove yourself to blank before you feel like a real hero.
Ooh, I feel it's got to be Connor. Connor's so cool. Connor's got so many powers. Like, they're like full-fledged hero. I got swords. That's about it. You want to see cool sword tricks? Maybe. That's all I can do.
That's more than enough, right? I think
I
so.
don't know. Maybe.
Okay, so then what we're going to do is, Grace, you have influence over Fergus. And then Connor, you also have influence over Fergus. So if there's a situation where perhaps you guys are trying to kind of sway Fergus or get Fergus to do something that she doesn't want to do, you can basically kind of use that influence that you have over them and kind of make that suggestion and like lean on them a little bit. You know, it's almost like the way that I kind of read into it is almost like peer pressure, like teen peer pressure. Okay. So next we've got, let's see. I know, Allison, you said you couldn't find these playbooks in your book. I'm like, they're in my book, so I don't know what happened.
We have to compare books later.
We do. Okay. So next up, we have, I think, the protege. So that's going to be
Cool.
Jen.
Yeah.
Here we go. Oh my goodness, you guys. I'm so sorry. I'm like caught in the weeds of this book. Here we go. Okay. So you and blank teamed up a few times before the rest of you came together. Who have you known the longest?
I think probably Fergus.
Fergus?
Yeah. I've snuck away to go see their band a couple times.
Okay.
Telling my mom I was going to the library instead.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah. I feel like
Perfect.
It's like a local coffee shop. There was 2 other people there, you and like someone who was just drinking coffee that really wanted to leave but felt super awkward.
They ordered an extra large, unfortunately, so they're
They're
like,
like,
I'm stuck.
Why did I get it for here?
yeah.
Okay, so second question for you, protege. Your mentor is cautious. They asked you to keep an eye on blank.
Probably I would say Teddy because they're
Okay.
made of rocks and that's not necessarily normal. So superstitious and all that.
Okay,
No,
I love that. Okay. So now we're going to head over to the legacy.
Oh boy.
So, Bob, you once
Mhm.
got caught doing something that shames your legacy. Who was it with?
I'm gonna say Fergus.
Of course it was me.
She was
Troublemaker.
leading me astray, and I got caught for sure.
Okay. Connor was caught in the crossfire with Fergus.
Oh,
Okay. Diminishing your legacy is what I'll say. And then your second question. You trust blank and told them an important secret of your legacy.
I think that's Teddy.
Teddy? Okay.
Yeah, Teddy's a rock. I felt, and I took that as a symbol that he was going to be my rock. I could trust him with this.
Awesome. Okay, so then that means that so far we've got
Wait.
Grace and
what's
Connor.
the secret? Teddy must know.
I think you're the only person who knows that how I actually got my powers.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's juicy. Okay. So then, just to recap so far, Grace and Connor have influence over Fergus. Fergus and Teddy have influence over Grace. And then Fergus and Teddy both have influence over Connor. Now we're going to come around to the transformed. Sweet Teddy, sweet angel.
Hi.
Who comforted you when you were at your lowest?
Probably Grace.
Okay.
But maybe she was actually just keeping an eye on me now that I think about it.
And then
Both. It could be both.
who knew you before you changed?
Oh, Connor.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Very, very interesting. So that means that Grace and Connor both have influence over Teddy. So make sure that you record those. In this game, you all also have team that you can spend. Since this is just a one shot, like the way that it's kind of written in the rule book for a lot of this is like kind of more for a campaign. So I would say I'll give you guys each, let's say one team for each of you. And you can spend it whenever you want. That'll give you a +1. I will also allow rerolls because we're having a nice time. Those are birthday rules, so I'm just doing whatever I want. So if you want to reroll, if you want to take a +1, you can use team. And then whenever you guys like help each other, whenever you lend a helping hand, or if you spend influence over someone to coax them over to your side, those are some moments where you can absolutely ask if you can have team. I will absolutely try to remember, but if there's a lot of drama, I might be just over here with some popcorn. So please don't judge me if that's what happens. Okay, so let's kind of just get into it. Allison, just a quick time check. It is almost 8 p.m. CT, correct?
Yes.
How late do we go? 11 or 11:30?
Until we decide to stop streaming as a group.
All right. Please feel free to message me, Cast, and let me know if you're just winding down. The sun's getting low, big guy. Just let me know.
We'll discuss it at the break for sure. But yeah,
Perfect.
I think we're here for you, birthday celebrant, and
Thanks.
Yes.
we will send a lot of narrative love your way. So you're in
Thank
charge.
you. Okay, so then, all right, we're gonna get into it then. Okay, so all of you are students at Halcyon High. Halcyon City is the great metropolis where you all reside. It is known for its beautiful skyscrapers sparkling up into the air, tons and tons of really fantastic parks, and like this beautiful lake kind of at the heart of it, almost like a Central Park-esque kind of like environment at the center of the city. You all have the League of Extraordinary People, which is your soups, right? Your Justice League, your Avengers, right? And the League is kind of made up of a lot of different kinds of superheroes. They are all very brave, and they all, are very well known in your community, but none of them are, none of them stand out more than the others. They all kind of fit really nicely into this like nice patchwork of safety that keeps Halcyon City safe. It's one of the safest cities in the world, even though there's kind of a disproportionate amount of crime. That being said, because so many superheroes kind of come from far and wide to try and like get their first taste of fighting crime and being a real hero, they immediately want to come to Halcyon City because they know that it's like a really good place to be mentored and fostered. There's a whole program that's open to all of you. And now that you all are in high school, I imagine you're probably seniors, you guys, maybe juniors. What do you think?
Feeling like a junior.
Yeah? Okay.
Be a senior.
All right.
I think Connor and I are sophomores.
Okay.
We're sophomores.
Cool. All right. So now that you all are in high school, those of you that are seniors, so Fergus, like you've been doing this for some time, right? Like you've kind of been in this superhero program, or at least wanting to be in the superhero program for some time. This is your very first year. Like it's not unheard of for you to get into it a little bit earlier, but those that are starting off, a little sooner, like Connor and like Teddy, right? They are kind of able to start at the ground floor. Grace, you've sort of been training for this your whole life because of your grandmother taking you under your wing and having these kind of like, this understanding in your family of this tradition that's kind of passed down generation to generation. You've always been primed to be a hero. You're just waiting for someone to take you seriously outside of your family group, right? Like you want, your name, maybe up in lights one day, like you want to be known just like your grandmother and her ancestors before her. But you also recognize that, you're a little bit more patient than the others because you have this in your blood. Same thing with you, Connor. You're waiting to prove yourself. Like you also come from a family that has kind of a storied past. Everyone kind of knows about, their greatness. Your dad is actually like one of the heroes that are like in the main core of the League. Very, very highly visible. So all of you know that tonight is Sunday night. Tomorrow is Monday morning. You're coming back from your winter break, even though Halcyon City tends to be kind of a warmer place. It's, beautiful springtime year round kind of thing. And you guys all kind of have this feeling of trepidation or excitement kind of rumbling around in your stomach for the exciting events that are going to come the following day. So Monday, you guys are going to go through a full day of school, have a lovely time, get all your education in, see all your friends again, start, kind of hitting the books kind of hard. And then after school, all of you are planning on heading to your high school chapter meeting of the League and kind of getting your assignments, seeing if you can maybe kind of take the next step in your hero process. Currently, you're all just sort of medium heroes. You're tasked with saving kittens out of trees. You're helping little old ladies cross the street. You're fixing stop signs and stop lights and stuff. You're directing traffic if the police are short-staffed. things like that. You're not really, you know, making waves in your town and community, but people know to look for you, that you're on the rise. So let's go around the table and talk about what you all are thinking the night before. That Sunday night, what are you doing? Who are you talking to? Are you by yourself? You know, what's going on with you that Sunday night prepping for this like big day back at school? Let's start with Connor.
So Sunday night, he is chilling out because he's already done all of his homework. It took him super quickly. He super quickly got it done, and he's sort of waiting, but wondering also like what is next? Like, what are we gonna do? How was everybody's break? Kind of just wants to, you know, meet up with people again, and then get to going on this legacy thing.
Okay, that's awesome. So do you see yourself kind of just chilling in your room, like hanging out, throwing a football up in the air on your bed, just sort of vibing?
Yeah, kind of just vibing. Yeah, just
Okay.
waiting for it to play out.
Awesome. All right. So Teddy, what are you doing in your room?
I think
Or are you in
Teddy-
your room, actually?
Yeah, he probably went up there after dinner with his mom, and he always joins her for dinner, even though he doesn't need to eat anymore. And sometimes she'll even make things that he likes, maybe just in case there's some sort of rumbling in the rock tumbly, but it never happens. So they usually just have conversation, and he goes up to his room where he's had to modify all his furniture. Like, he has to reinforce the bed with like plywood, and everything has been breaking recently because his rock hands keep crushing all of the small things on his dresser. So I think maybe he'd work on some wood projects to reinforce maybe like his school stuff. Like, his backpack keeps ripping from the seams as he tries to heft it on his shoulder. But sewing is also hard. So he's just watching a lot of YouTube videos, let's be honest. He's like, how do I do all of this?
Okay. That is absolutely fair. You are just sort of like trying to get your head around how to do the things that you used to be able to do, but in this rock body, right? How long have you been transformed?
Probably maybe 4 months, 5 months.
Okay, so relatively recently.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Grace, what are you doing tonight?
Frantically finishing all of her homework, because all week her Harmony has been up her butt about training and using all of her extra time from school. So she's very excited to be going back to school because it's like a vacation for her from all of her stuff.
Okay. So you're tired of being nagged, even though you know it's like for your own good, and it's going to make you a much stronger hero. It's going to really define you. You're just kind of over it, and you just want to be with your friends.
Yeah, because that's the only time I get to really hang out with my friends, because if I'm not in school, then I have to do all of my extra stuff, and yeah.
Okay. And then last but not least, what's Fergus up to tonight?
So Fergus is trying to cram in as much practice time with her band as they can. And basically, they're at their friend Amber's place. Their parents had like let them use their garage, and it's like kind of filled with, of course, like woodworking stuff on one side, a bunch of sewing stuff on the other. There's like a tiny little bit of room for all of our band equipment, and we're just kind of jamming out in the middle of this garage, much to, of course, the neighbor's chagrin. Just like doing a grungy rock cover of Wonderwall currently.
Okay, that's perfect. So all of you are kind of just hanging out and enjoying this vibe, enjoying this kind of final night of freedom from this like 2-3 week vacation, this epic vacation that you guys have just been on. Lots and lots of training, but also some time with friends. You guys all kind of go to sleep that night at various hours, I'd imagine. Dreaming of what's to come the following day, that hype, that excitement, whether or not, you know, someone is actually going to call you out, who's gonna be at your meeting, because sometimes there are different supers that show up to kind of lead these meetings with you all. So it's always a surprise who might show. So really, really exciting, really just stupendous excitement within all of you. And when you wake up the following morning, it's a pretty ordinary day. You look outside your window. It's beautiful, 76, nice breeze, just like it is every single day. You guys pop on the bus. Some of you may have other ways of getting to school. You all kind of arrive, and there's like a buzz the second that you walk in, right? Everybody's kind of packed into the assembly as like a group, like a general homeroom kind of situation, where they're going to announce like all the new people and stuff like that, and they announce, you know, who's gotten a promotion or what new teachers they have, if there's substitute teachers, all that stuff. It's like kind of like the opening ceremony for this new semester of school. What are you guys doing? Do you guys all sit together? Do you have different groups that you go to?
Fergus will try their best to sit with everybody else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey guys, do you like wanna, I don't know, go sit in like the side maybe? That'll be cool.
Yeah, if there's room for me, yeah.
I will find some room for you. We can make some room, probably.
That'd be great if I could sit with you guys.
Absolutely, Teddy. You can sit with us anytime.
You all kind of see people like milling about and trying to find spaces. Grace, like, you can see a lot of people kind of staring at Teddy. The rest of you are in your regular outfits, but Teddy can't really hide his difference. And a lot of people are kind of giving you the eye as you're maneuvering through the crowd.
I give him the stink eye right back.
You guys see kind of this like very tall and athletic cheerleader. She's got like big blue eyes and curly blonde hair, and she's cheering and everything. She has like tan skin and everything, big smile. And you see her, she's trying to, you know, kind of rally the other cheerleaders for this pep rally to get people excited. But it's like really early in the morning, and all of the cheerleaders are kind of like rubbing sleep out of their eyes and stuff. And one of them kind of waves at you, Connor. It's one of the girls that, you know, has kind of been around you and your other friends, like your sports friends and stuff, is waving at you. And you see them trying to kind of almost pull you away from your group to come and sit where they're sitting. Like some of them are like,
so Connor, he's kind of oblivious to those things.
Okay.
So he'll just like give a nice wave, like a polite wave, and just say, hey, and maybe call over and say, hey, I hope you had a great break. And then just turn right back to everybody in the group here.
I feel like Teddy does the thing where he thinks they were waving to him. He's behind Connor, and he waves back and then sees Connor wave and just puts his hand down and stands there and closes his eyes and pretends to be a rock for a second.
you see, like you close your eyes. So the others of you, Connor's kind of turning away and just going back to the conversation. But Fergus and Grace, you guys both see this kind of line of kids start kind of shuffling through the side door of the gymnasium, right? And they kind of go up onto the stage that's there, like this makeshift stage that they've erected that has some seats on it, and they take their seats and everything. And all the kids seem pretty normal. The very last seat, however, is left empty as you all kind of start your the assembly. Music plays. The mascot comes in. It's like this bumblebee with like these really ridiculous wings. He comes in on a skateboard, falls off, tries to kind of stand up and right himself, is doing like crazy moves and stuff like that, and like pointing to everybody and trying to like get people excited. Are you guys like the kind of kids that get like pumped about this kind of thing, or are you just kind of watching?
Grace is not pumped. Grace is like, this is such a waste of my day, but all right. And like, is probably using the time, like once we're sitting and settled, to kind of like catch up on whatever work or get ahead on whatever work that they have to get done.
Okay. So face in the book.
I think Fergus goes to like get excited at first and looks over and sees Grace not excited at all, and just like calms down. It's just like, yeah, not that cool anyway. It's fine. I'm not excited about bees. Just like rubs their hand awkwardly on their like really definitely worn multiple weeks, like kind of blackened, like slightly torn jeans that they have on.
Teddy keeps time with his feet and creates a little bit of a rumble underneath everyone else's feet near him. And it just seems to genuinely enjoy the music. Notices the clothes on Fergus, and he's not wearing clothes. He's finally gotten used to that, going to school without clothes on. Is no longer a nightmare for him, and just looks down and feels good about the music.
Okay.
Honor has been to enough of these pep rallies that he goes along with it. He like sort of goes along with it because he knows it's like a ritual of school. And he's also like a member of some of the sports teams, so that he does want to show his school spirit.
Awesome. Okay. So as you're all trying to kind of like figure out how you want to go about this, Teddy, you notice that there's a girl that looks like she's a freshman, and she's got like a giant notebook and pencil out, and her glasses are like really thick and kind of like resting like on the tip of her nose, and she keeps like looking over at you, and you see her like scribbling in her notebook and like looking over at you as the principal kind of comes up to make the first announcement. She steps up to the microphone. She's in like a fancy pantsuit that looks entirely too prim and proper for the job that she has ahead of her. And she starts kind of rattling off all the names of the new students. She announces, the teachers that have moved on, and the new people that they have. You guys see that there's someone named Mr. Knoll that is just like a new teacher, and he's kind of waving awkwardly, and like a couple other people kind of come in. And as she's like rattling off this information, all of you see this tall, gangly teenager kind of come like skulking in from the back of the bleachers, like the back area of the bleachers. Like they didn't come in with the rest of the crowd. And as they sort of like turn around the corner and try to like sneak in with all the other kids, you see the security officer, like the school like police man or whatever, the police person, kind of like go, oh no, come on over here. And they like kind of flash their little security badge, and kind of try to walk this person up onto the stage, as they're just very disaffected. Like they're looking around like this is their worst nightmare. You see them kind of amble up onto the stage, all arms and legs, very, very awkwardly. And this person does not look as bright and shiny as the rest of these newbies. Everybody else on stage is smiling, they're clapping, they're drinking all the Kool-Aid, right? They're just really thrilled to be there. They're waving at you guys, especially you, Grace. Like there's one person that looks like they keep trying to get your attention, and you realize it's like a third cousin of yours, like your mom's sister's son. And he's like trying to get your attention, like off stage and stuff. And this person just sort of comes up, sits down. They're wearing these kind of like tight, like drop crotch, skinny jeans that have black and white checks on them. They have like some straps that are kind of hanging off the back, almost like suspenders. They've got long, almost blue-black locks in their hair, like dreadlocks in their hair, and an undercut, and lots of facial piercings. And they've got like a little kind of, like a little like petal-shaped or like flower-shaped tattoo over one eye. They're wearing black lipstick, and they have their arms crossed, and they're sitting super, super deep in their seat, like they don't want anybody to notice them. And then the principal says, "Oh, well, it's nice of you to join us, Daisy. Please come on up here. Let's introduce you." So, not to like prescribe anything, but a few of you know this person. A few of you are aware of this person. Connor and Grace, both of you have been kind of told about the villains that are in society, right? In the different families, crime families and things like that of Halcyon City. There's always a heavy kind of population of friction in Halcyon City. There's no shortage of people trying to do evil, which is why it's so great to have heroes there that help do good. And this person seems quite familiar. As you kind of like get that little like that kind of tingle in the back of your mind that this person seems familiar to you, you hear the teacher say, "And I don't want to hear about anybody being rude to Daisy. Okay, Daisy Deadeye, what are your pronouns, Daisy? And you hear them go, they, them. My pronouns are they, them. You can call me Daisy. Hi, I'm Daisy. And they like tuck even further back into their seat. No one better be out there making Daisy's life more difficult. All right? You be nice. You all be nice to them. They're new here. And just because, if some of you might know their father and their family, you don't make fun. All right? You don't be nasty. If Daisy, look, if anyone's nasty, you let me know. I'll take him to the principal's office. Don't be nasty. And you see her finger kind of like go along the wall at all of the students that are there, grazing past, locking eyes with each of you, kind of lingering for a second. Not that you're troublemakers, more like, help me keep an eye out. Nobody should be mean to this new kid. Daisy kind of like rolls their eyes and like has like this really just almost a snarl of a smile on their face. And as the principal goes to walk back down off of the pedestal, you see her trip and fall down the remaining 2 steps of the 4 steps that are there. She looks around really embarrassed. Oh, I don't know what happened. I'm so clumsy. I guess what is this? She takes 2 more steps and she falls again.
But Teddy's looking around to see if anyone's gonna help. He's feeling like a bystander syndrome, and he's probably one of the tallest people there, so he's got a really good view of this, and he's doing that thing where he's like, do I, and he looks at the rest of the group.
We should do something. Just
Connor says,
stands
yes,
up.
we should. And he like darts up to the teacher to help her up.
Okay.
Bye.
So you run over there. How quickly are you going? Like normal pace, or are you pressing your luck a little bit?
It's not going to be obvious, but it's faster than it's like track speed, like track. He's on the track team fast.
Right. Okay. So you get over there, and you are attempting to. Oh, don't mind me. I just like dropped everything in my house. You get over there, and you're trying to help her up. And as you've got like your arm around her and her waist and stuff, her arms around your shoulder, and you're trying to like move her up and pick her up, you feel resistance. It doesn't feel like the resistance is coming from her. It feels like there's something else that's making it difficult for you to move her into like an upright position.
Can I look around and see if I can deduce anything or notice something?
Absolutely, yeah. So you look around, and you see kind of other people looking kind of confused. You see a ton of people laughing at her because, I mean, who's not going to laugh at the principal who's falling all over themselves, right? You hear some people going like, hey, it's only 9 a.m. Why are you so drunk? Miss, why are you drunk? Ah, like people laughing and telling jokes and stuff. But you also hear over your shoulder on the stage the quietest little laugh. And when you turn around, you lock eyes with Daisy Deadeye. The second that they see you, they look away. And they kind of sink a little bit further down into their seat. And just as like that moment kind of passes between you, you're able to right the principal and get her back on her feet and walk her wherever she needs to go.
Gotcha.
The band kind of starts to play again, and you guys all kind of have some time to mill about until your first class. What are you up to?
I think Fergus looks to the others and says, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want to meet the new person. Like, really bad. I love their whole aesthetic. They look really cool.
Yeah, I know exactly who's gonna bully them too, so I can let them know who to not talk to.
Okay, so should we like integrate them into our group or something? I don't know. Do we want to like have a questionnaire ready?
I don't
got
know.
a few.
What was that about their family?
Oh. Looks over to Gray.
Let's just, let's just say that they're not the most well-liked family in the city. But you know, mine wasn't really in the beginning either. So,
Huh. That's not great. Who is their family?
So you would know that this family, they're known as the Killjoys. Killjoy is the name of their father. Their family, just like yours, Grace, has a history of villainy, from robbing banks, from, stealing from people. They're always kind of morally gray because they don't, vilify, they don't do their villain stuff on, like they try not to do their villain stuff on the common man. But sometimes, like, Killjoy's claim to fame is that he blew up the financial district. He ended the business of tons of terrible business people that were taking the money, and sucking the city dry, and that were super soulless. But tons of innocent people that worked in that financial district are now gone forever. A lot of people were affected by it, and their whole family just kind of moved on with their lives. You also know that there are two sisters above and below the age of Daisy. And Connor, I think you would have had some run-ins with those two.
With both the older and the younger?
So the younger sister is kind of like... The younger sister is more of a rumor because, she's in junior high. She's young. She hasn't completely come into her powers. But
Okay.
The older sister used to hang out with your brother.
Okay.
And she is a person who is, again, very morally ambiguous. She's a hero for hire, and does whatever it takes to get the job done.
Okay. So when I come back to the group, I'm just gonna be like, guys, that was weird, but I don't think the principal fell by herself.
Elaborate.
So when I went to pick her up, there was like this really strong, I guess the only way I can say it is like a resistance. Like gravity was holding her down.
Interesting.
That's weird.
Yeah. So, but when it stopped, when I looked at Daisy,
Daisy,
and not like that
bully.
kind of, not that weird, like we looked and locked eyes thing that happens. It was
Yeah,
like,
that I know that happens.
yeah. So, I don't know. Like maybe we should talk with Daisy.
All right, just be careful. I mean, the Killjoys aren't necessarily known for their moral choices, I should say, all the time. Although
Right.
I have no one to judge. So.
Right.
Feel that. Well, I think you're right. I think maybe if we can get some time with Daisy, we could ask them and, see what was going on.
So the bell rings. And as you guys are walking through the hall to your first kind of class, some of you have, other things to do. You're not quite sure what grade Daisy is in. But those of you who have biology class, this school, the way it kind of works, whatever it is that you want to take, whatever educational track you want, you can choose whatever classes you want. So if you're in freshman year and you already know how to speak Spanish, you can take Spanish 3 with juniors if you want to. It's not really like just specifically grade by grade. And all of you are kind of put into this like supers track that gives you like a free period that allows you to kind of go and practice your skills and do all the, training that you need to do. And there's like a gym on campus and things like that, because this is such a like focused city. So first period is science class. And when you all enter the room, kind of chatting and talking and enjoying yourselves, you already see Daisy in there. They're sitting at a desk and you can see them kind of trying to like scrawl their name into the surface of like the wood of the desk as they're waiting to kind of get integrated into the lesson plan. Your teacher's up there, illustrating on the board exactly what's expected of you. And you can see there's right at the front of the table, there's a long row of frogs to dissect in class that day. The teacher kind of has everybody go up, people start pairing off, and the only ones left, there are the 4 of you, the new kid, and then one other student that looks really, really nerdy. Some of you might have seen them around. She's like just too excited for words. She's like super duper pumped to kind of be there. Every time someone's like, I pick, she's like raising her hand and like waving it, and everyone's like, and picking somebody else. So it's just the 6 of you up there. How do you guys want to pair off?
Hey, Grace, do you want to like be partners?
Sure.
Awesome. Oh, one sec. I gotta feed Scotty, and like takes out their Tamagotchi and just starts like playing with it.
Grace like positions herself like between the teacher's line of sight and Fergus so that, just nothing to see here.
Thanks. You're the best. And just like feeds Scotty down. There's like a little, it jumps up and down very excitedly before they like squirrel it away in their pants.
Teddy usually stands in the back of the room. It doesn't tire him out, and he's tall enough that he can see the board pretty well from back there. And so I think before he goes back there, he'd sidle up to Connor as much as possible, in that he would kind of stand over you and then like creak himself forward so that his head is kind of near your head-ish, like a tree that's like bent in the middle, and say, normally I would be your partner, but shouldn't we talk to Daisy?
Yeah. Do you want to be her partner, or should I?
He looks over at Daisy. What is Daisy doing right now?
Daisy right now is still like really trying to just like, you see full force like slamming whatever implement they have into the desk and like scraping away, trying to just like gouge whatever it is that they're scrawling into this desk while kind of like looking around at everybody.
Quickly,
Like it's pretty clear that they just want to work by themselves.
quickly looks back at Connor. Can we flip for it?
Sure.
Is it the winner that gets to work with Daisy?
Let's call it in the air. Heads they work with Daisy. Tails. Well, wait. First we have to do heads or tails for us.
I'll be heads.
Okay. I'll be tails.
Okay. Do you have a quarter? I don't have any change on me. And he looks down and he's just a rock. And there's no
pockets.
items on him at all.
Connor sticks his hand into his pants, pulls out a quarter, flips it.
Do you want to roll a d6?
I was
Yeah.
gonna say,
Please.
Odds are even.
Yeah.
So,
I'll be odds.
Okay. It's an odd.
Okay.
So you've won.
okay.
I won. He looks back over at Daisy, and it just out of habit goes to like wipe his brow from sweat, but it's just like rock scraping across more rock, and little bits of dust fall down onto the ground below him.
As you make your way over to Daisy, they don't look up. They just keep doing what they're doing. And Connor, you go over to this other student who's very excited. She's already grabbed like a frog off of the front table and like has it and is like waving you over enthusiastically. And when you get there, she's like, hi, hi, my name is Yasmin. How are you doing? We are going to be lab
Hi.
partners today. It's going to be great.
Yeah, Yasmin, great. I can't wait to dissect this together. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, I know. Can you imagine? You almost had to sit with like that weirdo.
And Connor looks over to Daisy and he just says, we shouldn't really say stuff like that. She could be a really great person inside.
Oh, right. I'm sure the rumors I've heard are just crazy. Let's get to work. And you see her kind of like brandish this scalpel and start to kind of like cut away at this frog, just like not very neatly, just sort of jabbing at it, but trying to like kind of get in there. And you can tell she's like really grossed out. She's got these gloves on, and is just like, well, right, and is trying to kind of poke at it. Connor, you are trying to kind of make your way over there. Is there anything that you say when you approach? Like, do you go get the frog and everything?
Yeah, I'll probably.
Okay. Sorry, Teddy. Do you go get the frog
Teddy.
when you approach them?
Teddy's gonna try. Teddy approaches the frog table, and I think he's created an implement for picking things up, much like those made-for-TV claws.
Mm-hmm.
So he has that in the corner of the room, and he uses it to kind of pinch the frog, and if it was a cartoon, the eyes would like squeeze out, right? Like he's got it right in the middle, and it's like he's holding a hot log, and he swings around with the frog, and in the arc of it just kind of ends up right in front of Daisy's face, and he stands there and waits for them to notice. Hey, partner.
They kind of like slowly look up as like the ooze from the frog is like dripping onto the desk and like running into like the rivulets where they've kind of just like made these like really deep gouges. And they like look up at you. Yeah. What do you want?
My name is Teddy. I represent the League of Extraordinary People Junior Edition, and me and my 3 friends just wanted to know what your deal is.
Oh, I don't know why you're talking to me about this. You're really awkward, man. They kind of just like look at you with this like empty kind of gaze, very, very closed off. Like the complete opposite of you, right? You're very kind of wide-eyed and you know, you're really sweet with your friends and they're sweet with you. This person is just like dead-eyed. Like they're just, yeah, cool. Do you know that there's a tray that you can put that frog on so that it's not just dripping shit all over my desk?
The claw can only hold one thing at a time. Here, hold this.
And he'll release the claw and drop the frog on their desk.
You see, like, they open their hand, and the thing that they've been scrawling with in their desk is their finger. It looks like it's been kind of sharpened to, like, this, like, super razor-sharp kind of point. And they look at the frog, and they, like, stab one of the legs with their fingertip and hold it up, like in disgust as they wait for you to come back with like all the implements and like the dish and everything.
Teddy turns slightly, using his body as a shield, and gives a thumbs up to the rest of the group, but he doesn't seem certain about it.
What are Grace and Fergus doing as all of this is happening? Like, you're seeing this all play out. The classroom's not a big one. There's maybe 20 kids in your class, 25 max. So everybody has their own kind of workspace. And you can absolutely see what's going on. You see Fergus like give you this thumbs up, like, I'm sorry, you see Connor give you this oh my gosh, you see Teddy give you this thumbs up that's like, and just sort of continue to make his way over to where Daisy is sitting.
So I have snuck Fergus one of my earbuds, so we are sneakily listening to this like new punk rock K-pop group that I've discovered, because I know that Fergus really likes music, and it helps us all feel a lot better about cutting open dead animals at school.
As we're like kind of jamming and stuff, I look over you and say, do you like think that maybe like Connor could use their like powers to bring this frog back to life, we could just release it out into the wild.
I would love to, but I think that bringing zombie frogs is probably not something we want to create today.
I feel like that'd be really metal though.
Yeah, totally. If all the
Damn.
frogs just kind of like rose at one time.
Oh my god, that'd be so cool. Can you do
Right?
that?
No.
Oh.
Well, they wouldn't technically be alive.
Oh,
They would just be moving.
I mean that would be kind of cool too.
Yeah.
I support this.
And Grace looks over just to check on Teddy, sees the thumbs up, notices the gut squished into the thing, and is like, maybe we shouldn't, because Teddy's looks a little sad over there.
Oh no, that's a really sad frog.
Yeah.
Oh, we can't even put a smile on his face. That'd be bad. Oh
Yeah.
no. Maybe
So
we could just treat our frog real nice. Just, there. Just pats the frog on the head. Just squish.
Teddy, as you sit down next to Daisy, you see them kind of release the frog onto this metal tray and take the implements kind of out of your like little claw and just silently get to work. Like they don't look at you, they don't really talk to you, they don't make any conversation whatsoever. They just like start going in with the scalpel. And you can see like where the little puncture wound is, the little puncture hole where their finger kind of went through the leg of the frog. It's like part of what they end up kind of like making a part of the cut that they're doing. They do like a center cut, just like it shows in the diagram the teacher has above. And the teacher comes around, the teacher's looking around, making sure everybody's doing what they need to do, telling people, oh no, not like that, whatever. When they get over to you, even though you can't really hold the implements, you're watching. There's almost a like, pun intended, surgical precision that Daisy is using to splay open the insides of this frog. They start kind of pinning like the entrails that they're taking out one by one, all intact, start pinning them onto the board to show like the full inside of this frog. And they start kind of like pointing to the book that's open next to you whenever they take out a new part. So like heart, they'll tap heart and look at you like begrudgingly and then put that and pin it to the board. And they just are, it's almost methodical. Like they're super like engaged.
My mom's a scientist, but with computers. So not like this at all. He just kind of freezes up and in trying to connect with them, goes back into rock mode for a moment and then steels himself and kind of uses his form, I guess, his presence to try again. Normally in his past Teddy life, he would have just bailed on the conversation. But he kind of like crunches his hands together and then looks back at them and says, what I mean to say is, you seem really interested in this, like my mom is interested in computers.
So they kind of like stop what they're doing for a second. And they hear like the kind of the wavering in your voice. And you hear a very deep and heavy sigh as they turn slowly and look at you. Your mom is a computer scientist, and like, what does that have to do with frogs? Go do me a favor and roll me 2d6, because it sounds like you're trying to assess the situation.
Yep.
With Daisy. They're not giving you a whole lot to work with. Like, again, they have this laser focus. Like, it's almost a little creepy.
Do you want me to
how
add
good they are.
any of my my stats to it, or a base roll?
Yeah. I would roll. Let's do. I don't know. Do you have a trait that you feel would fit here? I feel like, danger might be good because you're not sure how dangerous this person is. I know that that's probably like a non-traditional way to use that, but if you have another argument, like if you want to roll your freak and maybe like try to meet them halfway, that's also okay. Either one of those
Ooh.
I think would be good.
I'll take that. That's an 11 then.
Nice. Okay. So that's a big success. It's an upbeat. So because you did that, you got so nice of a roll, over 10. You can ask 2 of these questions. What here can I use to blank? What here is the biggest threat? What here is in the greatest danger? Or who here is in the greatest danger? Who here is the most vulnerable to me? Or how could we best end this quickly? You can ask any 2 of those. And those are going to be in your basic moves as well.
I feel like he'd want to know how to end it quickly because the school day moves fast and he might not see them again. So how can he help them either like stay away from bullies, or is this person a bully? Like how can he get to that information quickly?
Okay. So it sounds like you are thinking like, who here is the biggest threat?
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then how could we best end this quickly?
Mm-hmm.
So as far as who here is the biggest threat, the person that you're feeling the most threatened by is absolutely, hands down, Daisy. Even though you are a rock person now, and that's very strange for, the world that you live in, it's not strange for Halcyon City. So there are a lot of people who look a little different. There are people whose parents, turn into gigantic birds with wings. There are people whose, like the crossing guard, every day kind of has this very shimmery kind of tone to their skin, and they can kind of shape shift and stuff. You see them kind of do it for the kids as they're crossing them in the morning and things like that. Like, it's not unusual to look different here. So the feeling that you're getting from Daisy feels to you the most threatening. Because you're not used to people just outright being rude to you. Ignoring you, sure, absolutely, even before you were a rock person, right? But this person just almost seems like they're not there. And then how could you best end this quickly? When you look down again, like every time you kind of look over at Daisy to see what they're doing, they're further and further along in the assignment. And you see that like this whole frog has now been kind of like I don't even know what you would call it. I guess
Eviscerated.
Yeah, like it's all been eviscerated. And you're seeing how carefully they pin everything to this like other board, and like they're kind of doing a little illustration like around like the entrails and stuff, and around the heart, and like the little like fluttery looking liver and all the parts that make up the inside of this frog. They've even started to kind of debone it and kind of put the bones back together, like again, quite methodically.
Teddy in his own head is like, there's no extra credit for that.
You see the teacher. That's probably the best, the easiest, the fastest way that you're going to be able to get this to end is by talking to your teacher and being like, look at this.
That's true. In response to their question about what those two have in common, Teddy stumbles and says, passion, I guess. I gotta go, hang on. And he steps backwards and looks at the teacher knowing that that's a resource, but then runs over to Fergus, doom, 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 hitting the ground with big rock feet. Fergus, either Daisy's really good at science or they're a serial killer. Do we talk to the teacher?
Well, are teachers trained to deal with serial killers?
No, I
Is
think
that like
superheroes are. I think that's us.
That's us.
And while they're having this conversation, Grace picks up the heart and is like, I think I found the heart, and like squishes it.
Oh, like a bunch of goo comes out.
Gross.
Fergus just starts stretching.
Like puts it down.
She's just.
Connor, you're over there trying to kind of like suss out what to do with Yasmin. It's clear that you kind of giving Daisy the benefit of the doubt has just kind of shut her down, and she's like a little less excited. She seems like she was looking forward to like having some gossip with you. And it's sort of like poking at this frog over and over again. There's like a bunch of like little like scalpel holes in it, as like every time she goes to like cut into it, she gets freaked out by like the sounds and the textures, and is like, ah, and then has to try to go back in again, and is like, ah, every 5 seconds.
So I'll be like, Yasmin, would it be okay if I gave it a try? And he has already read for like he's scanned the entire assignment at this point really quickly. So he takes the scalpel and he like opens it up for her, and then I was like, "There's the first cut. It should be easier from now on." But as he's doing that, he's also like looking over his shoulder to Teddy and Daisy and the other two, just to see what's going on. And when he sees that Teddy has like left, he sees an opening. So I'm gonna walk over to Daisy and take a look at her work as well.
Yeah. So they're sitting there kind of very again, still very methodically laying this out. You can see they're starting to kind of fill in some of the answers, like in the little sheet that the teacher has left for all of you about, you know, how the systems work, how the organs work, etc. And as this is kind of happening, they don't look up at you. Like you come in and stand there and kind of hover for a second, and they don't register that you're there at all. They just kind of keep doing what they're doing. And when you look up, you can see Yasmin over there, like with the scalpel again, or the little there's like a little like prodder that you can use to kind of get under things and scooch them out. And she's like poking it and like crying, and is like poking it again, and is just like having a meltdown and looking at you and like waving you over, like, and poking at it and stuff and having a hard time.
I give her the 1 more minute thing, just a second thing.
Yeah.
And I turn to Daisy and I say, you did some really excellent work. You're way further than I have, Yasmin and I got. How did you know how to do all that?
Who are you?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name's Connor Coolridge.
You see them kind of take a minute and look you up and down from head to toe. Are you wearing anything that's like part of your legacy costume? Do you have like a sigil that you might have like on your backpack or on your jacket or anything like that? Anything that would give you away?
He might have a patch that is sewn onto his backpack or sewn onto his jacket. That looks somewhat like a lightning bolt.
Okay. Yeah, they take a look at you, and like their eyes kind of lock on that for a second, and you see them get kind of wide. And it's like the most expression that you've seen on their face all day. As they kind of just like stare for a second and go, yeah, I've heard of you. I just really like science. It's whatever. Why are you asking me so many questions? And they get like really kind of defensive.
I knew they really liked science.
You see them getting like super duper defensive. Their shoulders are kind of up, and like you see them kind of take the heart as you're watching and slice it in half and start to like use their fingers to like open it up and like look at all the like veins and vesicles inside. You can tell that they're being gross on purpose.
He'll give a slight reaction to that, and I say, and then Connor will say, liking science is really, really cool. And then I'll just turn right back and go back to Yasmin and take the scalpel from her as she's trying to mutilate my frog, and make the second cut for her.
Okay. You go back over there, and she's like, "Oh, I've been reading about this for a week. And I thought I was gonna be okay, but it's just really gross. It smells really bad, and I'm just really glad it's not a pig. I heard there's gonna be a pig later this semester, and I don't think I have it in me." And she's just like sobbing, like tears and like makeup is like running into like the tray that you guys are sharing.
And I'm like, I'm sorry, Yasmin. How about I do the cutting and you just tell me what incisions I have to make, and we'll get through this together.
So you look away for a second to talk to Yasmin and kind of calm her down. And when your face like kind of goes back, your attention goes back to the frog in front of you, you see that like all the entrails have been laid out in order on your desk. Like liver, heart, lungs, small intestine, large intestine, like all of them have been kind of splayed the way that the teacher has it on the board.
Can I look back towards Daisy?
Yeah. Yeah, you look back at her. Excuse me, you look back at them. And they're there just kind of sitting. They have their hand raised kind of like haphazardly. Teacher's walking over to them and they're pointing down at what they've done so that they can get their grade and kind of wrap it up. You see other students also kind of like wrapping it up. The teachers are kind of going around and checking. Fergus and Grace, the teacher comes to check your work and takes a look at the mess in front of you and is like, oh, well, an effort was made.
Yeah, you see, like, I made him a little hat out of his intestines. It's festive.
That's very creative.
A heart by accident.
Grace, I thought you would have studied for this. Fergus is always quite, interesting with what he likes to produce. They're always, never lacking for excitement. But I expected maybe something a little, more, educational.
See, I'm really good with the book studying, but then when it comes to cutting open dead things, I don't really like doing it.
Well, I've got to tell you, young person, you're going to need to get over that. We sometimes have to do things in life that we don't want to do. So I'm going to give you I'll give you a C+ for today, and we'll have another assignment. You can make it up. I'll give you maybe write me an essay tonight about what you could have done differently. How you could
I
have
would
done this a
love
little
to
bit
write
better.
you an essay. Yes.
Yeah.
Anything like that would be great.
All right, great. And you see him kind of adjust his glasses and like take like another like kind of look at this hat situation, and he kind of like looks at you, Fergus, and just like pats you on the shoulder, and goes to the next table to try.
That sounds great.
Teddy's in the background of this scene, having talked to Fergus recently. So he leans down, puts his boulder head in between the two, and looks left and right, and you hear just the shifting of rock.
Do we tell the teacher about Daisy, or do we just... Is this an after-school situation that we have to do?
I think this might be an after-school situation. We gotta investigate, make sure we get evidence.
Yeah, you heard the principal. We might be seen as like bullying them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we could talk to them later, and either we're gonna have to fight them, or maybe they could help us with our project for the league.
Kind of wish I was Daisy's partner now. Me and Fergus would have gotten a lot better grade.
Yeah, my grade's pretty good for this class.
I'm real sorry.
No, it's not you. It's me. It's me. I'm
it's-
usually able to do these things.
No, it's me. I kind of messed everything up. I thought the hat would be like an attractive eye catcher, and it was not art class. I messed up.
I honestly think that your hat is the reason we got a plus and not just a C. So.
Oh, well, I'm glad I could get us a plus. It's the highest grade that I've gotten this year. I feel good.
Glad you feel good, Fergus.
Thanks.
I think it's artistic.
That's what I thought. Visual medium.
My mom says there's a lot of art in science.
There
Yeah,
should
just not in school.
Oh,
This isn't
school's-
even school stuff. This is supervillain stuff.
Yeah.
Where are we learning this?
Hey, teacher. Just like
Yeah,
for a
yes.
second.
Yes.
Why are we learning this? Isn't this supervillain stuff?
Supervillains do this.
Super
They come up
villains?
with- Yeah, they come up with frogs for no reason. What's the purpose?
You have a point. There's been plenty of super villains that have eviscerated people. That wasn't what part of the curriculum? And you see him like take out his notebook and he's like paging through like all these pages and he's like trying to find it. Oh, yes. This is important to the syllabus because you got to learn how, in case any of you want to be doctors or something, you want to go out there one day and, surgeons also cut people open, not just serial killers or superheroes or villains or what have you.
Is the goal to like cut open a dead thing and then splay its organs? Like, is that what we're learning as surgeons?
Well, you got to know where things are. I mean, now you know where the heart is, right?
On a frog. Yeah. Not
Don't
on
worry.
a person.
We got fetal pigs coming. This is just an introduction.
Oh God, it's even worse.
I could have started you off with an earthworm, but
Can
I
I
felt
drop
like that
this
was a waste
class?
of time. No. It's requisite. You've been here for some time, young Fergus, and you gotta take your classes and graduate. You need to make sure you know how to do field medicine. Now you know where the organs are. And he's like starting to go
Fergus
on
just
and
starts
on.
sobbing. It's just the middle class.
You guys see this like incredible just like show of just madness in class where this teacher just is not picking up on the fact that he is just absolutely disturbing the hell out of Fergus. He just keeps rattling off like, well, you got to know about the entrails. The entrails are important. And as this is all kind of happening, the bell rings. You guys all have first lunch. So you head off into the cafeteria. When you look around to try and see, if Daisy is headed in the same direction, they're already gone. You can see their whole station has been cleaned up. It's all been cleared. All their stuff is in the waste paper basket, like all their like remnants of this frog. And they don't even say goodbye to you, Teddy. They just kind of dip. Like, you guys are wrapped in your drama for a second with the teacher, and they're there, and then they're not anymore. You make your way into the cafeteria, and it's pretty bustling. The cafeteria is usually split into 3 shifts. There's first lunch, second lunch, and then third lunch, right? So you guys are part of this first lunch crew. There are a couple of aides kind of milling about, making sure no one has their feet up on the tables, making sure everyone's sitting in a seat, making sure no one's running or cutting in line, all that mundane stuff. And as you guys are kind of scanning the audience of people in front of you, you see everybody kind of segmented into zones, right? There's a group table of jocks and the cheerleaders. There's a table with the band kids, right? The band geeks. There's a table with, the kids that everybody calls burnouts, right? Just because they like to smoke weed in the bathroom, on breaks. Lots of your friend Fergus, lots of your friends are there. That Amber is there, like playing kind of air guitar and stuff, and like kicking their feet out and like thrashing a little bit. Everybody kind of is sharing earbuds and rocking out to stuff. You can see like the art kids are, somebody's like posing for an image, and they're all doing like a young adult drink and draw. They're like drawing and then passing and then drawing and then passing. And it's a very lively scene. And in the middle of all of this, at the table right in the center, by themselves, is Daisy. And you can see they're just kind of hunched over their school lunch. They're eating a plain peanut butter and jelly sandwich. They've got a bag of chips and a carton of chocolate milk. And they're like not looking up. Their locks are kind of down in their face, kind of making a curtain around their deep brown skin as they just kind of like munch on this sandwich, staring straight ahead at their textbook and turning the page every so often.
I think Teddy really resonates with that image, having, like, he remembers who he used to be as a small, diminutive little shrimp, or that's what they called him anyway, and that alienation, that feeling of being alone really resonates with him, and he almost unconsciously sidles closer to the group, or would if he wasn't so big, and it's just kind of like the earth rumbles beneath you guys as he's boom, 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 like right next to you guys.
Let's go sit with Daisy.
Oh yeah, just like wiping the rest of their tears away. Kind of just flick them to the side. Yeah, we should definitely go do that.
I mean,
are you okay with it? Looks to Connor and Grace.
Okay, but if they say one thing about my food, I'm gonna get angry.
Okay, we'll make sure they don't say anything about your food.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Grace always gets embarrassed and usually ends up sitting with them because their parent always packs them very traditional Korean food, which is very not seen in lunchrooms very often. So, but Grace really likes it and doesn't care.
So you all sort of just like march right over and try to sit down?
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Yeah. No
Okay.
tact.
Very obvious.
Just like literally just like, let's go.
Can we roll for no tact? Is there a roll for that?
Defy danger? Can we defy danger?
So I won't even make you guys defy danger. You get over there, you walk over to the table, and like as you're about to kind of get there, you hear a familiar voice kind of ring out. Danny Archer, who is hands down the worst bully at school. You hear him go, "Hey, dorks, you gonna join your other dork friend? You got a fucking weirdo, Fergus. You're a weirdo. You going to be with that other weirdo?" Ah.
I just shoot him the finger.
You hear like a chorus of kids, "Weirdos, weirdos," like screaming at all of you. And you walk up to the table but you try to like go and grab a seat, and you find that like you're stopped like maybe 10 inches out from this table. You guys are all kind of approaching from all sides, and it's almost like you like walked into a wall or something. Like you bump off of it. Everybody roll me 2d6 to see if your lunch falls all over you.
Ooh, are we using any particular skills for this or just straight up?
I would say this might just be a straight up roll. You can roll plus mundane, because this is something a normal kid would have a problem with.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
12.
A 12, okay.
I'm
Oh, my
real
mundane's
good.
0. I have 4, 5, I got 7.
7, okay.
Teddy also
I got an
rolled a
8.
7.
8, and then Teddy, you rolled a 7. Okay. So, Fergus, you get kind of a sense before you approach it that keeps you from like going full force, right? You kind of like get up and you kind of look at the face that this person is making and can sort of read the situation and recognize that maybe they want to be alone. And you stop kind of just short from like walking right into this like invisible shield. The others of you though, you all kind of like bump into it, and your tray jostles for a moment. You don't spill it all over yourself, thankfully. But it's embarrassing. Like people can see that you all just kind of like thunk right into this like invisible, kind of like barrier. And you see Daisy kind of like laugh into their sandwich a little bit, hiding a smile. As they do not look up at you. They don't make any eye contact. And Danny Archer comes over and takes an apple off of your tray, Connor. And it's like, "Hey, bro, you don't mind, right?" And he starts like snacking on your apple and like eating it in your face. "Why do you want to sit with this nerd anyway?"
I was just wanting to get to know her, that's all. Or them. Get to know them, that's all. But yeah, go ahead, take an apple. An apple a day keeps the bullies away.
Yeah, like don't have enough friends or whatever. It's not like you're a nerd like these. I mean, you already hang out with like whatever these people are. I mean, look at this guy, like a rock dude. I mean, I guess you're kind of cool, man. Like you got like rock skin. Like I guess I would want rock skin. That's punk rock. That's rock and roll. I like that. But like these other ones, I mean, you got like the bookworm, you got like this burnout. I mean, what do you wait? Your friends aren't good enough for you, and you see him kind of gesture back toward like the jock table.
My friends are fine. I just wanted to know if I'm trying to make this new person feel welcome.
Yeah, well, you could be fucking welcome from over there, huh? And you see him like turn around and walk away.
Not
And
so fast, Teddy says as he turns around, hands clenched into rock fists.
"Yeah, you got a problem? What's up, big man?"
You said I'm cool, but you don't mean it. You just like the outside of me. You don't like the inside. And the inside's like my friends.
And he's gonna crunch his fists and raise them up and try to intimidate this kid.
Okay, roll me defy disaster, please.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you roll plus danger for this.
Okay.
This kid's about to get the smacked out of his life.
No, the dice gods have spoken. It's a 3.
A 3? Okay. So tell me like how this goes wrong. Because you're like standing there and your fists are clenched and this kid's like eating an apple like in your face. Like he's like like eating really messily and like the apple like spritz is like all going all over your face as he's like talking like back to you and like pointing up at you or whatever because you're bigger than he is and he's like not afraid of you at all. So tell me like how does this look?
That's interesting because I feel like Teddy's really like summoned some courage here. And so maybe the way it goes wrong is that he can't follow through with it. And so like in the last moment when they're kind of face to face in that anime style split screen where it's like the jaggedy line in the middle, he just like lets his hands go at his side and he shrinks back and you hear all the crunching of the rock as it resettles. And he goes back into, still as a rock mode instead of like an angry boulder rolling towards him. He's still and tries to go invisible, closes his eyes and pretends he's not there. And in the last moment, he just can't follow through with the threat.
So he looks up at you and he like sizes you up one more time and laughs and is like, yeah, this is why the outside matters more than the inside. Can you imagine? And he starts kind of like marching away triumphantly, kind of tosses the apple core, like tries to shoot it into the basket, makes it look super cool. Everyone's like, ooh, sick burn.
Grace is gonna channel because she can. The way Korean shamanism works is that they can like get possessed by like the deities that they like have links with. So Grace is gonna just yell at him and be like, "You don't want me going around telling everybody what your real family secret is, so I suggest you hightail it out of here before I tell everyone how you actually got that last name of yours."
You see it kind of stiffen for a second. Does anyone else add to this?
Yeah.
Solid.
Just
So, like, you see his shoulders like square and like he puffs up. And like this isn't a small kid. Like he's wide. He's like he's a defensive lineman. So he's stacked. Like he's got big broad shoulders, kind of like a real thick neck, pimples on his face. And he turns around and looks at you, Grace, and is like, yeah, right. Point taken. But, we'll see about that big fucking fat mouth, Grace. We'll see, okay? And you see him like turn around, like spin on his heel and start heading back to his table. And as you guys kind of look on, there's like a moment, there's like a lull in the lunchroom where it's kind of quiet, almost eerily so. Like lunchtime is usually like really noisy, raucous, everybody's screaming and talking and yelling. But for a second, it gets real quiet in there. So quiet that when the carton of chocolate milk hits the back of Archer's like Letterman jacket, you can hear the squelch as it like explodes. It's almost like someone threw a water balloon at him rather than a carton of milk. And it goes all over his hair. It goes all over his jacket. The cream sleeves of his jacket are like brown and like running with this chocolate milk. It's all over his pants. It looks almost like he had a little bit of an accident. It's running all down the back of his legs. And as he turns around, his face is bright red with rage. His green eyes are ablaze. Like he looks like he's ready to just murder somebody. And he's looking at the four of you. You hear someone go, "Food fight!" And we're going to take a break.
Yes. Love it. We will come back after a break. Don't go anywhere, folks. Thank you so much for hanging out with us in chat for this lovely edition of First Fridays with Candace. I'm going to drop some links in chat for you to peruse as we go to break. Thanks again, and we'll be back shortly. Hello, Internet. We're back with more masks for First Fridays. And no, it's not the first Friday, but time is irrelevant because we're having a good time. And actually, the only time that matters, it's our GM's birthday. So if you're in chat, say a happy birthday because we are so grateful to have you spend your birthday with us fighting evil and sussing out evil as well. So I'll turn it back over to you, Candace, to guide us through the second half of Mass.
Okay. So there's a special guest. Sorry. I don't.
Special guest.
Hold on. Like, is there something you need? I don't. Like, he's looking at me like, please help. And I'm like, but what? Where do you need to be?
Where do help?
Do you want to be with me? He doesn't want to be with me. I know he doesn't. I'm going to get him and he's going to kick me in the face. Anyway, back to the game.
I know that well.
So you guys hear food fight and like you guys kind of just turn, and as you turn, you can see a deluge of food coming your way. People are throwing mashed potatoes. People are throwing slices of pizza. People are tossing full cans of soda like across the room. It's like sluicing everywhere. It is absolute pandemonium. Every single person seems to be kind of jumping in this. You see like the art students like taking the food and like smearing it on stuff and like trying to like make really cool expressionist art. You see some of the like nerdier kids like trying to hide under tables and like doing a terrible job. What are each of you doing? Please go around and narrate to me. Let's do it cinematic style. In this comic book movie, what is your character doing right now during this food fight?
I think Fergus goes up and there's like some trays that are scattered on the floor, and you see them walk over to the trays and like kick them both up into the air and basically grab them, kind of like these shields, and just start deflecting food coming at them and like trying to deflect it from the group and say, "Don't worry, I'll protect us. You just get those projectiles and fire away," and just like is knocking back food, trying to defend everybody.
That's perfect.
Grace has her lunch and like she is hiding under a table now because she's really freaking hungry and food is her love language and there's no way she is wasting it on any of these assholes. So she is just hunched under a table, like kind of like probably like near Fergus so that Fergus is deflecting, and then like she's just literally just under the table eating her food.
Okay. Awesome.
I love it. Teddy is punching as many things as he can. So I believe all the cans, he's trying to just dive in front of those and have those clatter against him so that they don't hit anyone because that could really hurt. And other than that, just every mashed potato lump punches through it. Every pile of carrots flying like daggers punches them all. So he's just running around punching all the food and yes, maybe doing a little bit of a battle cry, but it sounds kind of like Tina, like as he's punching all the food.
Beautiful.
Connor is actually manipulating the molecules in his body and letting things just phase through him. So things are looking like they're coming at him, but they're just like falling right past, like completely through his body because he's like vibrating at such a high frequency.
Yeah.
But he's also wants to, like, amid this chaos, he's looking around for Daisy. He wants
Okay.
to see what Daisy's doing and assess what she or they are doing
Yeah.
in this whole calamity that's happening.
Okay, so we're gonna have a couple of roles that we do. I'm going to first kind of address you, Connor. You're there and you're letting this food phase through you. I'm not even gonna have you roll because like no one's really noticing that it's phasing through you. It's not super obvious. There's such chaos everywhere. People have like ketchup and mustard dripping off of like hamburger buns sliding down their cheeks. Like they've got, their glasses all like covered in like ice cream and like pudding cup. People are just like a mess. Like you can see it smells like a really horrendous amalgam of different foods. And it's just really disgusting. And you're like struggling to kind of like look around in this din, right? Like you're trying to kind of like get around and see, where Daisy is, especially knowing that this bubble almost was around them when you guys first tried to walk up. And as you turn around, you can see that there's like, you can see like as the food is like heading toward their direction, that they're kind of like their faces up and they're watching all of this happen. And like their hands are kind of like just gripping the table like really, really, really strongly. And like there's almost indentations like around where their fingers are in this table. And they're like staring around at everybody. But as you kind of like start to kind of move in that direction and you're trying to make sense of what you're seeing, you realize that you can see this bubble because the food is flying against it and there's streaks of it kind of running down this like force field that's around this person, right? Daisy kind of like looks up in that same scowl, that same sneer, and like looks around. Their face almost suggests that they are just like disgusted with how easy it was to kind of descend into this chaos, like for everybody. Almost like it's like not worth their time. Fergus, I'm gonna go and have you. I'm gonna have you roll to defend someone. There's a lot happening. The floor is like super, super slippery. Like every step you take is a little squelchy, a little sticky, a little smooshy, and you're kind of trying to like skid and like get your like you do your cool move and you like pop the two shields up, right? The two trays up, and it's awesome. And everyone's like, oh, for a second at you, and you feel really good.
I think it's very like 300 cinematics. It's like zoom and it's like kind of fast and it goes slow motion. It's just very, oh no. That's a 7. Oh wait, plus, oh shoot, what is defend? Oh no.
Defend is going to be plus savior.
Oh, I don't know if I have savior. Oh no. Do I have
now
savior?
remember,
I do.
You have your team as well if you need it. Each of you has one team.
I do. So that's a 7. That would be a 9. I'm gonna use my team.
All right.
And I think for my team, for team move, when I guess let's just share some stuff. Yeah, I think using like kind of defending the team in a way, especially like kind of blocking off where Connor's phasing through all this food and Grace is hiding underneath the table, and just working like side by side in tandem with Teddy. I'll take that one team, and just like, I think if Teddy, you're okay with it, like the two of us, like I'm rolling off your back, like defending you from like things coming from the side. It's just like the two of us just defending the group. It's just this really epic like food combat.
I love it. He could do the like boost up, with both hands, and it's like a little earth-bending mountain and lifts you up in the air to give you that extra oomph as you fly forward.
I spin kick an apple and like just slam it in the side of Danny's head.
Yeah,
from across the room.
You see him like he takes it like right to the side of the brain, just like bah. And like his eye like twitches for a second and you see him kind of like fall down. Like the impact is just too much. And he like loses his balance and he just falls face first into like this just puddle of like gook on the ground. You can see like his Letterman jacket is absolutely destroyed.
Oh, Teddy's going to come in for the one-liner on that and say,
okay,
looks like the outside isn't so good on you either.
And you can see he like looks up at you and he's got tears in his eyes.
Teddy feels
it might-
immediately bad.
It might be the mustard that's like seeping in there and like getting into his eyeballs, and it's like really pungent and terrible. But it also might be pure humiliation from being told by this rock band. So I'm gonna have you, Teddy, please roll. Let's roll directly engage a threat, since you're like punching this stuff that's kind of coming at you. Make sure that you don't like punch anybody by accident.
Ooh, that's good. That's 11 on the die.
Whoa, excellent. Okay. So you can pick two: resist or avoid blows, take something from someone, create an opportunity for your allies, or impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition. So I'm gonna just kind of narrate, I guess, what you've already said. You said that you were trying to kind of avoid things coming at you and like punch things out of the air, and then create an opportunity for your ally in Fergus. Yes.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So Grace, you're sitting underneath the table and you're like munching on your food and everything, and like some like rivers of like sludge kind of like make their way like near your area and are like kind of pooling around your shoes a little bit as you're kind of like crouched under this table. No one seems aware that you're down there, which is nice. Like your team kind of knows that you're down there, like they're aware of your place in all of this, but like the people that are throwing stuff don't seem to be, you know, aiming for you at all. You get this kind of nice moment of peace where you're able to just like take in the ridiculousness that's happening around you.
I'd like to think Fergus and Teddy are purposely trying to make a barrier around where Grace is eating lunch. And it's kind of like the game to have none of the food touch Grace's food, because Grace will lose it.
Yeah, we don't want her to have a ruined lunch. For protect mode.
Okay. So as you guys are really like trying to kind of like wind this down, you look over and you see Connor standing there kind of like gazing in the direction where you guys remember Daisy was. His back is to you, and he's kind of just peering over there. Because you all know his power and you guys are so familiar, you can see the food kind of phasing through his body as it's going. He looks absolutely pristine, the exact same way he came in. Like everybody else is covered in stuff. Like, I mean, Teddy, your skin is just, I mean, painted with all kinds of colors and painted with all these different colors and grossness. Fergus, you're really kind of taking some of it too. You're trying to kind of keep it out of the way and everything, and like from the waist up, you're pretty well covered with your platters, you know, your trays to try and shield yourself. But your pants are like a totally different color now that they're just covered in like this garbage and filth.
Oh, my pants.
You don't need them.
I mean, just take them off.
Maybe you, I don't know. I don't wear them anymore.
I mean, I might try to not wear pants. My parents would be really mad if I didn't wear pants to school. That would be cool, actually. I might not. And they just like start unbuckling their pants. It's a good idea, right?
I mean, I might be wearing pants and you just can't see it. I don't know. I don't know what happened with the rocks. So
Secret pants.
Grace
I
just
have
like
secret ones.
pokes out from under the table and is like, Fergus, keep your pants on.
Yeah, it's probably a better idea. And just like starts buttoning up
Goes
their
back to
pants
eating
again.
her food.
So, Connor, as you're kind of like looking and you're kind of seeing this stuff like drip off of this bubble, what are the next steps that you kind of want to take? Are you just kind of trying to assess the situation, or did you want to like directly engage them?
I wanted to see if I could assess the situation. Like, do I need to get out of here, or like?
Okay.
Connor, your instincts are right. Someone needs to know what's going on.
Yeah.
It's not
So
us.
here's my question: if I'm phasing, can I phase through this force field?
Okay, very interesting. So,
Like, if I were to walk through it.
Yeah, totally. I'm gonna have you again, kind of like use your powers a little bit. It's technically, I think, defy disaster, because it's not really like an unleashing of your powers per se.
Right.
Again, defy disaster. I'm like borrowing from other games. That's totally a Thirsty Sword Lesbians move. So I guess it's unleash your powers. So if go ahead and roll your 2d6 to see if you are able to use your powers to phase through this bubble.
That's an 8.
Okay.
Am I adding something to that?
So you can add freak to that. Yes.
And that is, I'm doing the highlighted one, right? So I've got a 0 for that. So that's, so it's an 8.
An 8? Okay. So you like start to kind of phase through it and you get like a little bit of resistance as you're trying to kind of move into this space. And it takes you a couple of seconds. It starts to feel really unstable, kind of. You're used to kind of just being able to like walk right through a wall, right? Like no resistance, doesn't matter how thick, going wherever you want, everywhere is kind of open to you. But this feels almost like you're walking through peanut butter. Like you're trying to like kind of like move through it. And as thin as this bubble looks, it takes you a surprising amount of time to get inside. And once you're inside, you see like the open textbook and you see the tray of food. The chocolate milk that you saw there is missing. And there's nobody sitting in that seat.
Daisy's not here either?
No, they're not. They're nowhere to be found. Like you're in the bubble. It's all clean in there. It's pristine. It's perfect. And as you're sort of standing there, trying to like understand what's happening, you hear as the bubble bursts, and like all the gook from the outside of the bubble just goes all over you, and all over like the tabletop, all over everything. And as you look up and you guys all hear the bell ring and you see all the aides descending on everybody, like break it up. You see people like with like cloths and like big buckets of water trying to like get everything out. You can see people kind of like holding off the other students and directing them toward the auditorium to eat in there instead. As like the principal comes over, red in the face, you can see she's like trying to do damage control. Like she's like this adorable Chinese woman that's like trying to like just like figure out what's going on. She's like screaming at people like, what is going on? What are you doing? Like trying to calm everybody in the halls. But as you're looking around, like you can't quite make anything out. Like you're really preoccupied with what's all over you. What are the other three of you doing? Yes, Allison, do you have a question?
I was gonna say, can I do like a comforter support? Because I think after doing a lot of Fergus martial art duo movement, Teddy would come to a halt and see his friend covered in all of the lunch food and try and go over and clean it off, probably ineffectually with big rock hands, but maybe scrape some of the spaghetti off as carefully as possible.
Okay, so as you're doing that, go ahead and roll me 2d6. And you're going to roll plus mundane.
Okay. That is... It was a 10, but my mundane is a negative, so it's a 9.
Okay. So you are able... So you hear these kind of words coming, Connor, from Teddy, as he's like trying to kind of like get you like a little bit more clean, and he's trying to kind of scrape all this like stuff off of you. You're just really like in a bad way. Like you're super embarrassed. No one around you, as you look around, like no one is looking directly at you. But you felt like you had a handle on it. Fergus and Grace, the food fight is calmed down now. It seems like it's safe for you to come out. Do you just like kind of come out and like go back to what you were doing? Like how do you like emerge from your cocoon?
So she sees that everything's like kind of safe now, shoves her last bit of food into her mouth, and then like climbs out from under the table, looks over at Connor and is like, what happened to you?
I had a bubble burst.
Oh, okay. Do I notice that Daisy's no longer there?
Yeah, you absolutely see it. Like right over his shoulder, you can see like all the stuff that was there when you guys tried to approach, but an empty seat.
Where did Daisy go? Do we know?
No, I haven't. And as she looks around, I'd like to assess the situation based on potentially previous places that when my sister went here, where she used to hang out potentially.
Okay.
Smart.
Considering she was much more of a poppy, cheery, popular individual, but kind of thinking back to maybe the places that she skulked in, and the corners that she hid in.
Okay.
Maybe there's a correlation.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, that is a, oh no, that is a 7 plus, oh god, what is it for assess the situation?
It is plus superior.
I don't think I have any superior. I do not, so that's a 7.
Okay. So you kind of look around and you're like trying to nail down like where your sister used to hang out. And as you're kind of grasping for it, you realize like she didn't really have to hide. She was relatively well liked. She would kind of be, you know, when she'd skip class and things like that to do her little, you know, like teen pop queen rebellion, she'd be, you know, smooching, you know, cute girls and boys underneath the bleachers and, you know, talking to her besties in the bathroom or very basic things like that. And as you kind of like look around, you realize that maybe those aren't the places that you would want, that you would think to find this person. You remember like how they're dressed and like you kind of look down at your own duds and you like look over at Amber, who's like laughing maniacally over at her table as she like mashes like the rest of her like soda cake like into like one of your other bandmates' faces, and they're just like disgusting, and they're being like really ridiculous and like they wave at you really enthusiastically. And just over Amber's shoulder, you see a little face peeking out in the doorway of the cafeteria. Like you see like these locks, like 2 or 3 locks kind of like hanging in the doorway, and like these like little eyes and like an eyebrow ring like staring kind of over the side. And then like they lock eyes with you for a second.
There they are, and like immediately points them out and just like starts sprinting across the cafeteria, trying not to slip. Can I defy disaster?
Yes, I would like you to roll Defy Disaster.
Yay. I want to
Slow motion montage as well as Teddy joins the chase.
running up that hill starts playing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is not good. Defy disaster is what is it again? There's so many things.
Defy Disaster is going to be it's Unleash Your Powers, I think technically is Defy Disaster, but whatever. I'm gonna say that you're gonna roll plus mundane.
Oh, perfect. It's still a 9.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So you like start chasing them down, and like, do you say anything to your crew?
Yeah, I just say over there. That's all I say before I just start sprinting.
So the rest of you see Fergus take off, right? And like she's like, at first she's like a fucking athlete, man. She's like a panther, and like they cut out like really hard. They're like, they've got the arms there and everything, but then they like hit a weird patch of something. And you see him like just like skid for a second and like almost lose his balance and like go into like this slow-mo like Neo like Matrix style like save of themselves, and then they right themselves again, and then like they take off again, and every couple of steps they're like like slipping all over the floor. And as you guys kind of like look at where Fergus is looking, you see like that little like the eyes and the top of their forehead and like maybe even like this much of their nose and their locks like in the window of the door of the cafeteria, and you see a figure in a blur take off. Like no one else seems to be freaked out by it because they're all kind of in their element, in their zone, like trying to figure out like the aides are busy trying to like keep kids in one place and keep the dirty kids from like going and mucking up the classrooms, and like all the other students are still like trying to like restart the food fight, and like there's still chaos even though it's kind of over. But like the four of you who are all supers, like that this is probably not a normal pace that they are moving down the hall. It looks a little quick for a regular kid, especially one that does not look athletic at all.
Oh, we know that look on Connor pretty well. Connor's always kind of on ice, running faster than normal.
Yes. The rest of you all, please also roll me your unleash your powers to try and just like kind of keep your cool. And if there's something that you can do that can avoid this problem, if you get a 10 or up, please narrate. Please feel free to narrate that. You're going to be rolling plus mundane.
I got a 3.
Okay.
Connor got a 6.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Teddy?
Teddy got a 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Teddy, you see, all it takes is for you to see Fergus, and him kind of just like hightailing it for you to be like, I'm following her, and you pick up the pace and you just like launch into a full-on sprint. You are not particularly fast because you're heavy, but like you're pretty upset. You've been kind of dealing with these new emotions as you've kind of become this rock person. And as you're maturing and as puberty is descending on you, and you're finding that sometimes your fuse is a little short when people try your patience a little bit, and you've been tried. You get so fired up that you like outpace Fergus. Like you leave them in the dust. Like you get into the hallway and like use the momentum and like this, like the gook on the soles of your stony feet to just slide into the hallway. Like you go crashing into these lockers, and like your shoulder just like checks these lockers, and they just buckle under the weight of your intensity. And you like look down the hall, and you can see like all the way at the other end of the hall, an impossible distance away for the amount of time that it's been. You can see just like the tails of blue locks and like these suspenders kind of like fleeing, like caping out into like the back of their back and of their pants and everything as they're kind of disappearing like through the stairwell and look like they're trying to kind of get out of there, get out of Dodge. The other two of you, Grace, you and Connor see like this mess that Fergus is going through, trying to kind of like retain their composure as like they're trying to like run and catch up. And they're doing a pretty good job, right? She's killing it. Like she's making good time. But at the same time, you're seeing all these like weird spots of squishiness and gloopiness on the floor, and you're trying really hard to avoid it. But Connor, like you're so kind of just struck by what just happened to you. Like you're really in your feels about it, and you're like trying to move through this. And as you're kind of running and Grace is allowing you to hold on to her for like, stableness and steadiness, you just aren't paying attention, and you wipe out and you take her with you. And Grace, like you've been sitting there mostly clean this entire time. And then Connor like falls over and just like completely like takes your feet out from under you, and you land like right in a puddle of like grossness. And you can hear people kind of laughing a little bit. Like everybody's already laughing, so it doesn't feel super targeted at you, but you've gone to great lengths. And now you look like that. So you guys like kind of almost crawl out of the cafeteria to try and like get your feet up underneath you. And as you get there, you can see Fergus kind of standing there, like looking, trying to figure out like which way to go. And at the other end of the hallway, you can see, you can almost hear him before you see him. You hear the of Teddy as they're kind of like hauling ass and like pointing at the stairwell before they like throw themselves through the door.
Guys, I see them ahead. You look terrible.
Looks over at the other two. Are you okay? Oh no.
I'm gonna be so grounded.
Oh no. We'll try to do something. Maybe Connor, do you have cleaning powers?
Connor, Hurry up!
Coming!
Oh God, never mind. That's for later. Let's go.
So you guys get down the stairwell, and it's like you can't find like any particular like indicator of where this person has gone. Does anybody have a power that they might use to try to detect like which way someone has gone?
I can talk to dead ancestors.
I can smash
I
things.
Can I ask my
I have
Tamagotchi?
I have Holmesian deduction.
Oh, the one that helps is the last one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
The
Holmes
three of
and
you, and
Matthew.
I'm just
That
like,
one.
what is it, Scoob? I'm sorry,
Whoosh.
Scotty.
So
TM.
your Tamagotchi goes ba-loo-doo, ba-loo-doo-doo, whack, whack,
Oh, damn, you're hungry. Okay, one sec.
whack, whack. And you can see it. It's like
Oh
doing
my
this
God,
little
it's
like
hungry.
this little like thing with its arms, and it keeps going up and down, and its mouth is opening like really wide, and its eyes are getting like little X's as it's like doing this falling
Scotty,
down
no.
thing, like it's pointing in its mouth.
I'll just start feeding Scotty. I just you all have this covered. I'm busy.
Connor, you're there, and you're like looking for clues, and you're just looking around like, God damn, what happened? You, however, Grace, you kind of look around, and again, your family has lived in Halcyon City for generations, right? Like you guys immigrated maybe 3 generations ago. And even before you moved here, right? Your family in Korea also, like there's people in Korea that also have the same skills that you have, even to this date. Like some of your cousins also fight crime over there, or in a similar kind of training program in other countries all around the world, not just in South Korea. So you kind of get this sense that maybe you could help. Like it seems random, but maybe, just maybe, it can help. So please roll to unleash your powers, and let's see what we can. Let's see what there is to see here.
I got it too.
Can Sherlock Holmes
Let's
help
go.
too?
Sherlock Holmes can help. Yes.
I just start getting lectured by my like great grandmother with no help at all.
Yeah.
She's like pointing at my outfit, being like, "What did you do? Why are you so dirty?" And then like that's all the help I get.
Yeah, she's really laying it on thick too, and like all of you can see this, right? Like a really beautiful, like what color do your ancestors appear to you when they kind of come back?
Probably like so my great grandmother would probably be wearing like a hanbok, like a very like traditional like green and red like like Korean dress, and like probably has her hair braided in some fashion, and is just like laying it into me like in Korean, like yelling at me basically in Korean about how dirty I just let my outfit get. And I'm just like distracted by trying to explain to her that it wasn't my fault, it was his fault, and I couldn't help it. And now I'm just stuck here.
And like Connor, you're trying to look around for clues, right? Like you're trying to like look anywhere to see if like you can find like a drop of chocolate milk, or like some kind of clue, any kind of clue. And like in your ear the whole time, like as you like look over at Grace, like you see this like beautiful, it almost looks like the person is just like non-corporeal, right? Almost like how you look when you're getting things phased through you, but even less kind of physically defined. And you can see her clear as day, right? All of you supers can see her. She's standing there, this like kind of short, like wizened woman, who doesn't not look like Grace, right? Like resembles Grace a little bit. But the way that she's talking to Grace, all of you, even though you can't understand what she's saying, you all have heard this tone before from people that care about you. And it immediately like dampens the mood. Connor, there's a lot of gesturing in your direction with very sharp motions and lots of like hand, like, and like Grace is like hiding, and like you kind of get the hint that like it's kind of down to you. You gotta pull it out. So please use your Holmesian deduction. Go ahead and roll 2d6 and let's see what happens.
I rolled a 10.
Ooh, okay. All right. So you're looking around and you're not really like seeing anything. So for a second, you try to like tune great grandma out, right? and you try to just kind of close your eyes, and you find like this peace, and you can hear the sound of footsteps running upstairs to the roof.
Cool. I turned to everybody. I was like, they went that way, and we're going upstairs.
I think at this point, having given chase in the mortal way and not going very far, Teddy would like to try something a little unconventional. And if Connor would help with some speed, maybe like punch upwards through this stairwell and just kind of make a path towards the roof, because he's not going to be bothered with stairs anymore.
Okay, please roll to unleash your powers. Do you say anything before you do this to like warn everybody?
He breathes in kind of nasally, and some of the I guess congestion of a rock, which is like little pebbles, like you hear the sound of little pebbles like falling out of his nose, and he's like,
Stand back, everyone. I'm gonna go for it.
and he doesn't explain what that means. And then he just, hopefully with Connor's help, because I'm picturing like he needs some momentum, right? Otherwise he's just going to be bashing the top of the stairs.
Yep.
And he'll look at you, Connor, and he'll be like we practiced.
Actually, he's going to use air manipulation. So he's going to manipulate the air to put some more force behind the arm that's punching up.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm going to give you a free +2 on that. That's excellent.
Then that's a 12.
I'm loving this team move. Okay. Heck yeah. So go ahead and kind of describe how Teddy looks. Like, what is everybody else seeing?
Everyone sees a living boulder, kind of much like in Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, those rocks that then come to life, but a little bit more humanoid, but, very craggy, very, kind of glued together, all these different disparate pieces of stone and shale, and his face points upwards, and with a burst of wind kind of gusting around him, this impossibly heavy being just starts to lift up, and the stairs are splintering like they're toothpicks underneath his fist as he power punches forward and yells, "She's on the roof!" Or "They're on the roof!"
Okay. So your school is like 3 stories high, and you guys are on like the 2nd floor. So you're able to just kind of get this momentum to just plunge through, and like you're hitting layers of concrete as you're going up, right? And the rest of you kind of know to get out of the way as you feel the wind kind of surge around you. All of you have done training and things like that together. Again, like you all have a free period, like right now, to practice all your skills and all that stuff, right? And as Teddy kind of goes soaring up, it leaves behind this like huge kind of almost like a deconstructed tunnel. Like it's like somebody's just like blown a hole in the stairwell in the concrete, and there's just this like big, like, I don't know, like larger than a person sized, like almost like someone took a wrecking ball and just like threw it upward into the sky. And you can see above, like as he kind of clears that top floor, as he clears that space in the roof, you can see the sky. Like you can see like the bright blue sky, clouds up ahead, complete throughway up into where the roof is. Teddy, you land fairly gracefully for a stone person, in a really cool pose. Can you tell me about like what your pose, what does your superhero pose look like when you land?
Oh man, you gotta go for the blade. You gotta go for the blade landing pose with the fist on the ground and the legs splayed.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. What are the rest of you doing now that you have this like path upward? How are you guys getting up there as quickly as possible?
Well, I can't fly, but I can do lifts if anybody wants me to just lift him up.
So Grace is just like listening, kind of like looking and like looking back at her Harmony and like looking back and it's just like, oh, Chisomnida, like and starts bowing at her great grandmother and starts like backing away slowly and kind of like runs over to Fergus and is like, can you be up there?
Yeah, one sec. Okay. And as they've kind of practiced in their Cirque du Soleil training that they've done, they're just gonna go and lift and just kind of throw you upwards to the next floor.
So let me know how you land, Grace.
Not
What does that
very
look like?
She hasn't quite done her landing practice, so she kind of like is like the whole time as Fergus is getting ready, she's like, okay, make sure you bend your knees. Don't like talking to herself to kind of like make sure she gets a good landing pose, and she kind of like lands and then like wobbles a whole lot and then like gets herself like straightened up and kind of just pretends like none of that happens.
So like as you start kind of regaining your composure, like you hear behind you like the rise of this voice. And it's your grandma. She just like floats through the concrete like up behind you and is like all of a sudden like in Korean you can hear her like saying like, and this is how you land? Hundreds of years we've been practicing. Hundreds of years. There's all kinds of poses, okay? There's a whole world of poses for you to choose from. This is how you land. You're wobbling. After all this training, like she just is like laying into you. Like nothing is good about what you've just done for her.
Nice. That's great.
Connor, how do you get up there?
He's using his super speed. He's just zip, 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 like all the way around, all the way up.
Okay. And what is your pose like?
He ends with a skid. Like he does the like 1 foot out one, and it skids as he's got his fist up and his other fist down.
Okay. And then Fergus, how are you getting yourself up there?
They're going to attempt to like look around if there's things that they can like jump on and basically use that to like catapult themselves and just kind of go hop, 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 hop. Just very mundane, but very athletic. Just like jumping their way up out of this hole.
Yeah, so you're totally able to do that. The hole that Teddy has left behind has exposed like a lot of like the trusses and things like that, like the inner workings of this concrete building. So there's all kinds of like weird rods and stuff sticking out of places and like little like kind of beams that are kind of like more solid and like pipes and stuff like that. So you're able to just kind of Cirque du Soleil like yourself like bloop right up there. And kind of just like spring back and forth and like you're feeling pretty good about it. How do you land when you get up there? You see everybody else trying to kind of like find their vibe. What are you doing?
I think they like, as they get up there, they like take on like a pipe or something and they like swing up using the kind of momentum that they do. And they do like a double backflip and kind of land with like both feet together, very like gymnast, like arms out, and then just kind of like bows to no one. Just very like gymnast training, and they're like, oh, we did it. And you're like, yay.
So as you all settle into these poses, right, and you're trying to like get your, because like you guys know that the league, like whenever they show up somewhere, they start and they end in a bomb ass pose because there's always paparazzi. There's always somebody that shows up that's documenting, somebody's filming on their camera phone, whatever. They always look fantastic. And you guys end up in kind of a mishmash of like cool, like weird, strange kind of poses. There's still that red and green kind of like ghostly outline of grandma that's like slowly starting to fade, like as your like your spell kind of starts to wear off, Grace. Like she's still there and she's just like, she will not be quiet until she's gone. Like it's clear that she's just gonna keep talking until the time is up. And she's like just like going for it. And as you guys kind of all look, you hear like a slow clap right in front of you, and standing like right at the edge of the rooftop, their feet kind of like right on that little ledge that juts out right before you'd be basically off of the top of the roof. You guys come face to face with Daisy. Upon closer inspection, you realize that like their name is probably because of the tattoo around their eye. It looks like the little outline of like a little daisy. And it's like this kind of like deeper, kind of burgundy, almost maroon color that contrasts against their very dark brown skin. They have like really nice kind of like African-American features, very striking kind of square jaw, high cheekbones. They're actually kind of good looking now that you're looking at them in the full sunlight. They have this weird look on their face though, like one of surprise that you would have made it up here so quickly. But then when their eyes kind of land on you, Connor, and then look at you, Grace, and see your grandmother kind of like talking away, your great grandma talking away at you, that look kind of turns into like a look of like knowing, like, oh, okay, I get it. Y'all got serious powers or something. And they kind of look at you and cross their arms and just sort of retreat into themselves, shoulders kind of hunched in this very defensive position as they're kind of staring at all of you. So you made it up here after me. I started the food fight, whatever. What do you want?
No, I don't think it's really about the food fight. We just like kind of want to get to know you. That's all.
You want to get to know me?
Yeah.
You guys have been staring at me and talking about me all day.
Yeah,
I've been watching you.
We think you're cool.
And suspicious.
Oh,
So one of you can tell
cool.
the truth?
But mostly cool.
It's both. It's definitely both.
You can see their demeanor's not really changing. Like they've slightly uncrossed their arms. They seem like slightly less defensive, but their eyes are really narrow, kind of staring at you guys, like staring daggers almost. Like, yeah, right.
Have we pierced the mask on Daisy yet?
You have not.
We have not.
I feel like, with Fergus saying we think you're cool and also suspicious, like Teddy feels both those things and would want to know, is this a kindred spirit? Someone who is excited that someone wants to get to know me? Or is there an ulterior motive here?
Okay, go ahead and roll. You're going to be plus mundane.
Oh no. That's a 3.
You got this.
Okay.
Oh, no.
No.
So how does that fail? Go ahead and narrate how that fails so everyone else can decide what their move's going to be.
Yeah, I think in saying it's both, Teddy walks forward and almost like he like can't get out of his own head and his own memory of like what it felt like to be Teddy the human.
Yeah.
And they were making a connection earlier in the biology class, but I feel like he turns around and looks back at his own team and completely loses sight of like what he was trying to suss out, and turns back to his friends and says, you can think someone's cool and also think that they're weird, right? Like, you can think both those things. And like he's clearly talking about himself and has lost sight of the mission.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I guess, but it's better to not focus on like the weirdness, especially if you want to like be their friend. I mean, the weirdness is cool, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look at us, Teddy. All of us are weird in some way, right? I mean, just some of us deal with it better than others.
Can I use my heroic tradition? Can I give
Sure.
someone advice that I think my mentor would give?
Absolutely.
Okay. I have to roll for it.
Mm-hmm.
3 plus 2 plus 0. I got a 5.
Oh man,
A
all the
5?
failed rolls here.
Did you roll plus the label that your mentor has?
Yeah, my mentor embodies the freak label because they don't, there's like, whatever, we're different, this is just how we are and everyone can deal with it.
Absolutely.
Which I have a 0 in, so.
Okay.
So Grace tries really hard, but like her mentor advice obviously does not translate the same to how it would translate to somebody that is not of her family lineage, heritage, or ethnicity in a lot of ways. So like to her, like she understands that like her mom's never gonna tell her that she loves her. She's gonna make her food. So like it's that same kind of like you're not weird, everyone's weird, it's not a big deal, kind of like everyone goes through this, which is not comforting or supportive in any way, but like this is the only thing she knows.
Do you maybe like offer like an old Korean adage that like absolutely makes sense in Korean, but like when you say it in English, it's like maybe there's like not enough words to like make up the
Yeah, like she definitely is kind of like, oh, like, you know, some people are tigers and some people are dragons, and they usually get along because they never have to interact with each other unless they choose to, kind of thing. And like it totally just it's not comforting at all.
The rock nods, shifting up and down the boulder.
Okay.
as you're all kind of having this conversation, you might notice like you can hear like very little coming from the direction of Daisy. And as you kind of like look over at them, their face is like kind of like their body language is kind of like relaxed a little bit more, and they're kind of craned their ear and their head toward you to kind of like eavesdrop on this conversation and watch you all interact with each other.
I think Fergus kind of turns between Daisy and the group and says, look, I understand, especially wanting to be like really standoffish, you know, with people in general, and like they kind of look at their friends. They haven't really talked about it much. They're like, I mean, my parents are, well, my whole family are villains as well. And I mean, I kind of went the hero route to, you know, more of a spite thing than anything, but I like it. And I mean, like, I don't know if that's you or anything, but like, you don't have to be like super off from the rest of us. I mean, we're just like, you know, people. We can be your friends. And I mean, if you want to be a hero, awesome. If you want to be a villain, that's cool too. That's your choice. We're not gonna stop you, but we just kind of want to be your friend first.
So this kind of hangs in the air. How do you all react? Do you all kind of nod encouragingly? Are you on the fence? Are you like, don't be a villain? It's not okay.
Connor definitely agrees with the friends first thing. He definitely wanted, that was his whole goal from the moment he was helping the principal, is he saw a person that needed help sort of just feeling comfortable where they are right now. Mm-hmm. And that was his whole goal. So he's definitely nodding like, that's the friendship thing is what was my main goal from this morning.
Okay. What about you, Grace? And what about you, Teddy?
Go ahead, Grace.
Grace kind of just like looks at Fergus because Grace has never been to Fergus's house or anything. Like they're only
does
school
not
friends.
let anyone come over.
So Grace is like has to like kind of like when Fergus says like, oh, my family's villains, Grace like immediately like shifts and is like, what? Like
yeah, they're the danger dames. The really like, well, I'm subjectively, because I'm not the hot villains. They're my moms, so I can't say that. It's weird, but yeah.
Okay. And it's kind of just like shakes herself out of it and is like, yeah, I mean, friends at school is perfect. There.
Okay. And Teddy, what about you?
I was, same vein. I was gonna say Teddy leans towards Connor and says, "Did they say their parents are villains?" And just Teddy is processing, I think, slowly processing that.
Okay.
But certainly when it comes to the message of what she said, I think Teddy's mindset is always like Teddy transformed into something in his mind that's better
Mm-hmm.
or more aspirational of what he wants to be, but he feels fake inside still. And so I think he can really relate to like conflict, like internal conflict. So he's a little hung up on the villains thing, but big picture, I think he would nod towards Daisy.
Okay. So Daisy's kind of like looking at you, Fergus, and you see for a second this like almost like a ripple of letting their guard down before it snaps back up again. Looking over at Grace and looking over at Teddy as they try to like turn over in their minds your announcement that you're a villain, or that you come from a family
My
that
family is not me. I'm a hero.
Go ahead and roll plus mundane to pierce the mask.
Sure. Let's see. There's a 5. That's a 4. So that's a 9 plus 2 is an 11.
Beautiful. Okay. So you say this to them, and as they're kind of like, they kind of shut really quickly again, and they like look up at you for a second, and you see their face kind of start to open up a little bit, and they take a couple of steps toward you all. You're able to ask 3 questions. So what are you really planning? What do you want me to do? What do you intend to do? How could I get your character to blank? And how could I gain influence over you?
Okay,
Are
number
there
1.
any of those you want to ask? You can ask up to 3.
Number 1, how could I get your character to be friends with us? Is number 1.
Okay.
I think number 2 is what do you want me as an us to do?
Okay.
And then I guess what are you really planning? Because I'm curious.
Okay. So you're all kind of just standing there, a little dumbfounded, and you're still in like your like janky ass poses. And like you kind of see their head fall, like Daisy's head fall for a second. And they take a couple steps toward you, and then they stop and they look back up at you. And when they look up, you guys can see they've got like tears running down their face. And they're like, you guys are like really supportive friends. I never last long enough at a school to like have friends. My sisters are like the only friends I have, and they're kind of shitty. My whole family's kind of shitty. Like
Same.
they do the right thing, but like not at all. And I don't know, I've been training so long to be a villain, and I was on a job with my sister, and things kind of got out of hand. She was trying to get insurance money for this client, and she caused a car accident. But this lady she had a card and a stroller, and I saved them. That was the day I found out my last power. And I put my hands out, and this like force field kind of came around them, and I had never really been able to like do it around myself. Like I can kind of like make it, but I like can't like be there. I can just kind of do it around other stuff. And I don't know what that's about. My sister said it's because we're supposed to tag team, but like it feels like I'm supposed to help people, and I don't know. I'm such a disappointment. My dad keeps trying to push me, and I just.
It's okay. I mean, I'm a disappointment to my parents too. They're like, you want to be a hero? You don't have powers. And I'm like, yeah. So, I mean, well, I think we're all disappointments to our parents in one way to another. But I feel like that's a teenage experience, right?
Not
Being a
Teddy.
disappointment.
Teddy's going on about like his cool mom and how she she spends so much time with him teaching him science. Like all my dad does is teach me how to like rob people and like give it to poor people, and I mean that's cool, but like
that is really cool.
It's really cool, sort of. What am I saying? I might be a villain. I gotta tell my mom. But no, what you said isn't true. My mom and she's great, but her technology turned me into this, and she wants to help get me back, and I don't want to go back. She doesn't understand. it's
You
not
don't-
all good with us either,
Oh yeah, you don't have to go back if you don't want to. Every day I go home and I'm kind of stumped about what to do. I just never know. My dad puts me through these trainings. I'm just so glad you guys know what that's like. And in the middle of them saying that, you all hear an explosion. And like you see the water spray up out of the fountain that's right in front of the school, directly below where you all are standing on the roof. This like it almost looks like a geyser, kind of like shoots up, and all the water kind of like lands on top of the roof and like rinses all that shit off of you guys. But now you're all soaking wet, and you hear like this like mechanical hum as this giant mech, like a bot, comes like flying up and lands on the other side of where you guys are, like directly behind you. It has like these like crazy kind of like this, like it's like a steel suit sort of. You can't tell if anyone's inside, but it's got these kind of like long kind of arms that have this very kind of stocky, kind of like bludgeoning looking like forearms and fists on it, and it's got these like really big giant kind of feet as well that look really stocky. And it has these glowing kind of red eyes. And it looks like it's probably about 8 feet tall. It's not like super gigantic. It's certainly not as large as the things that you've seen kind of try to take over Halcyon City in the past. But it definitely does not seem friendly. And it like lands, and when you see it lands in this like fantastic pose. Like it's like on all fours, and it like raises up on all fours and looks at you guys, and it stands up quickly, and you see it kind of transform one of its hands into like one of its fists into like a bludgeoning kind of weapon looking thing, and it points at all of you and says 3, 2,
Jump, everybody, off the roof!
1.
Ah!
You guys all jump off. You guys all jump off the roof.
Teddy's gonna jump in front of whoever's next to him and become a little boulder shield in case someone
Okay.
can't be fast enough.
Okay. Everybody roll Unleash Powers. I know that this is really just like a move to try and like dodge this, but I feel like you all have this, these superhuman skills almost. I mean, almost all of you have these superhuman skills. So go ahead and roll to make sure that you can dive off of this roof.
Yeah, guess what? I rolled a 3.
Okay, so then Teddy is protecting Grace.
There we go.
Connor rolled a 5.
Okay, all right.
Is this plus danger?
Oh,
This
yeah.
is going to be plus danger, yes.
Okay, that's great because I got a 6.
Oh, then
With
I
the
got a
danger?
4. With my danger, I got a 4 then.
I have a 2.
Okay. So
Teddy
you're all,
Teddy has an 8.
okay, so you're all like on top of this on top of this building, and you hear this countdown, and like you all try to like react quickly, but things just happen like way too fast. And Teddy, you go in front of Grace, you said?
Yeah,
And you, like,
whoever
make a
needed
kind
it.
of, you make like a kind of like a body shield.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you brace yourself, and the other two of you, you feel kind of this like deafening kind of like wave come over you. Like all of a sudden, sound is different. Like everything's almost dampened and muffled, and you watch as this like huge fist comes flying out off of this monster, like off of this robot, and toward you all to try and like just like sweep at you and just punch like all of you, give you a great wallop. As it kind of hits that area where you're all standing, I'm gonna have Teddy roll. You don't have any conditions right now, so you can just roll a straight roll for take a powerful blow. So roll your 2d6, and we'll see what kind of comes of that. The other two of you notice that this fist comes toward you, and Fergus and Connor, it pushes you back like a couple of steps, but it almost feels like you're gliding. It doesn't even feel like your feet are like on the ground anymore. And as you kind of look around and you see the rubble and like the dust of the impact with Teddy, you kind of see it like settle around you. And Connor, you get the distinct feeling that you're inside of one of those bubbles. What'd you get,
Awesome.
Teddy got an 8.
An 8. Okay, awesome. So that means, how do you want to handle this? You can lash out verbally. You can provide a teammate to provoke a teammate to foolhardy action, or take advantage of your influence to inflict a condition on someone else. You can give ground, so your opposition gets an opportunity attack on you, or you can struggle past the pain and mark 2 conditions on yourself.
I think that's a very Teddy one. He'll struggle past the pain and mark 2 conditions to
Okay, what are you
be a rock
picking?
shield.
Yeah.
I see here there's angry, afraid, guilty, hopeless, and insecure. Does that sound
Yes. Yep.
right? He will take insecure, just given the past conversation. Also,
course.
he's not sure if he's a villain now. He needs to work
Yep.
that out. And I think maybe he's angry. I think he's angry that this is hurting his friends, and maybe new friend, question mark.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take those.
So as you're kind of questioning if this is a new friend, you look over and like you're staggering a little bit. It's not easy for you to kind of regain your footing. You're so used to being big and strong, right? It's only been like 6 months, like you said, but like you're so used to kind of being big and strong, being unwieldy, not really feeling much, not being sensitive. And there's something that's like a little bit terrible about this, but there's also something that's like slightly good about this, that you feel that impact. It shakes your whole house, right? Like you get like almost knocked off your feet. You stagger for a moment and kind of collect yourself, but it's like the first time in a long time that you like felt serious touch and impact, and it kind of like inspires you a little bit. You start leaning into that anger and that rage, and you look at this monster. Do you say anything to it, or do you just kind of jump into action?
I think I would say something to Grace.
Okay.
Say, I don't know about the fox and the balance of the animals, but I do care about you.
I care about you too, Teddy.
Do you say anything to Teddy to like reassure him a little bit? You can probably take away one of his conditions if you do.
So yeah, Grace would be Grace would say something along the lines of like, you're you, and like those are the best things about you, and because of you and Fergus, I was able to eat all of my food today, which is the only way that I get to feel loved by my parents right now. And so like, please don't ever change, and you don't have to know about the animals, but like I am so grateful that we are friends.
You hear like a half sob, like kind of directly behind you, and you guys like see, like you see Daisy, and they have this like very kind of like big, like almost too big smile on their face, and like their tears are back, and they're just like smiling at you, and like their little center lip ring is like quivering as like they're like looking at you like, like they're overcome. And you can see they've kind of caught the tail end of that hit, and you can see like their body almost looks like it's taken the hit, and they've morphed around it almost. Like you all saw earlier, like their finger had turned into that sharp point. They have body elasticity, and they kind of like move around it so that there's like this like kind of dent almost in their body of where they were just kind of swiped. And they're kind of like holding their side as they're trying to kind of like get back into like normal shape again, as they're watching like this display of friendship. And Teddy, you feel like this warmth coming from your back, right? Like you feel this like warmth coming from Grace, and her words just kind of wash over you, and you realize like, no way with friends like these could you be a villain, right? This is not villainy. Like this is standing up for the people that you love, and that insecurity just falls away, and you're just kind of, unfortunately or fortunately, left with that anger. You see them look over at this monster, at this giant mechanical creature, and they start breaking out into one of their really fast runs again, on their way to try and catch up with this thing and get behind it. What are the rest of you gonna do?
Fergus looks at the others and says, Someone get me on that thing's back. I have an idea. I don't know if it's smart, but it's smart to me. Look over to Connor.
Connor will definitely use some air manipulation, but he also wants to use his legacy move of fight the good fight when I pull my punches and directly engage the threat that I can roll savior instead of damage.
Yes.
And then try to either impress, surprise, or frighten the foe. I think I want to frighten the foe at this point.
Okay. Yeah, please go ahead and roll. It says you're rolling plus savior, you said, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. While you're doing that, Grace, what are you up to?
So Grace has been kind of analyzing this thing, like while Teddy's been like this savior, and so can I use like my Ben reading the files to kind of like, but in a way to like kind of be like, figuring out based off my past knowledge of all the anime I've definitely watched, where Connor could best and Fergus could best like infiltrate what is happening and kind of like give them knowledge that they may not have had before.
Absolutely, you may. Please go ahead and roll that, and then I will give you your tidbit.
I rolled a 6 I'm plus superior, which is a 2. I got an 8.
An 8, okay. Perfect. So you have one detail that you're able to muster, like in this chaos. Like you're a little freaked out right now. This is like kind of way more than you guys have ever had thrown at you before in your training. And you recognize that this thing looks kind of, I don't know, like it looks like a homebrew. Like you have put hours and hours and hours into some quality anime time. And like, like the difference between like a professional Jaeger and like this Iron Giant wannabe. And you're kind of looking at it and you can kind of tell like that like you can see where it's been like soldered back together, like the joints and stuff.
Okay, so I'm just gonna yell that at, or not yell, I don't know how far they are, but like I'm just gonna let Fergus and Connor know, like, it's not as good as it looks, I swear. It's probably just like a cosplay Gundam. So just, try to go for the joints, because I don't think it's using a full rendering of whatever, and like that's how she displays her information. They all speak Grace, though, because they've been hanging out with me, so they know what I mean.
You got it, Grace.
Connor did not do as well on his fight the good fight. He got a, was I rolling superior? Savior. He got a big old 4.
Okay. So you're kind of trying to engage with this thing, and you're just like not able to kind of get its attention. It seems really kind of stuck on trying to fight Daisy. Like you see it kind of spinning around, and it has like a 360-degree pivot on its kind of axis, and you see it kind of spin around and kind of like the fist snaps back into the socket as it kind of pivots around and tries to like grab at Daisy, and it's like going behind its back and stuff. And you see it kind of like come up in the air again and fly up and land kind of closer to you all as it's trying to kind of like defend, but also, go on the offensive and try to grab at them as they're kind of dodging and trying to kind of like get them away from where you are.
Interesting. If possible, I would like to use now that this mecha is near us to basically try and jump onto it.
Okay.
As I would like to directly engage a threat. Is it possible that there's like wires or some like electronics that I can maybe gain access to?
So you've definitely heard Grace kind of shout like it's like this trash dial-up mecha. That's nonsense, right? And you immediately like go into like your stores of reading your sci-fi and reading comics and like all the pop culture that you've got, right? And you immediately kind of instinctually know that like there's usually a panel in the front, and like a battery pack in the back of these
Perfect.
things.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and jump onto this thing and
Mhm.
go over to the battery pack, like climbing, and then I take out Scotty Doubt and I say, "All right, we're gonna supercharge you," and I'm gonna try and hotwire the mech into Scotty Doubt.
Okay.
And I want to directly engage the threat, but I also want to use one of my playbook abilities, which is Come On Lucky, which gives me a +1 bonus if I use my companion.
Heck yeah. Okay. So you're going to roll plus danger
Yep, which is a
and have your
zero.
+1. Yeah.
Yep. Just a flat
Zero for
zero.
your danger.
Oh no, this is bad.
Uh-oh.
That's a 4.
Now, nobody has spent team to grant a reroll. All of you have that option.
It's
You can use
true.
it on other teammates. I think all of
Oh,
you still
you
have your
can.
team, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Grace.
Except for Fergus.
Yeah, Grace will see that Fergus is struggling and try to like direct from where she is. Like, no, go over here. Like, get the blue wire. Like,
Oh, not the red wire. Okay.
not the.
All right, a blue wire. I was never good at electronics class.
You should watch
Oh,
some YouTube videos. They help.
That's only a 5.
A 5? Okay, so you're able to kind of like maneuver again, like you're really trying to just like jump in and get this, and like you go flying through the air. Like you have little daggers, yes?
I will say that I took some of like the pieces of concrete, but they're like little knives now.
Okay. So you go flying through the air and you like latch onto this thing, and like you barely like kind of get like one of them in its shoulder, so you're sort of hanging like haphazardly, and you're able to sort of like connect it, but like it's not turning off the way that you want it to. Like those wires keep like sparking a little bit, and you can see like your little Tamagotchi guy, like Scotty Don't, is like still doing his little move or whatever with his little arms and stuff. But he's still fine. And the robot is still fine, but like the wires are kind of like sparking and kind of like it looks like they're it's a bad connection or something like that. The rest of you all can kind of see this. Does anybody want to do an alley-oop? Maybe see if there's something they can do to get this done.
Oh, I've got gadgetry on my thing, so I could
Okay.
probably run in and fix this up, right?
Heck yeah, please roll your 2d6. And for this, because gadgetry is like not a fancy super skill, roll plus mundane.
Okay.
We're like swinging. around
How about a
like that.
12 plus 1 is a 13?
Chill out. Okay. So you like run over there. How do you make this work? Like, how do you connect this? Like, what does this look
So
like?
I'm like, no, that's not the way. And I run over and I find the wire and I actually undo the back of Scotty Don't and I connect it just with the one sparking wire to the back of Scotty Don't.
Okay. So you do that, and you can see like the rest of you that are kind of further back, you can see this robot trying to like kind of like smack at its back, but the arms are like not completely rotating. Like they don't have 360 kind of rotation. So
Like
they're
a
kind of
really buff
stuck.
guy. Just
Yeah.
like,
Yes. It's kind of like trying to like do this, and there's like nowhere for it to smack its back against anything. So it's like not getting you as you're making those wires connect. And as you finally kind of like get those wires to stop sparking, you kind of twist them really quickly. The rest of you see this robot. The Tamagotchi lights up, and you can see like almost like colors coming into its like interface that were not there previously, right? It's like leveled the fuck up, this Tamagotchi. And as it's like doing its little like dance, like its little chicken dance or whatever, you start seeing this robot and its arms are doing this like chicken dance. And you can hear the robot like you can hear almost like this muffled, what is this? What is happening here? And like the robot's like doing like these little motions, and then you see it doing like the feed me pose. So like whatever the Tamagotchi is doing, this robot is doing. And eventually it starts to power down as its system becomes like overloaded and fried. And the Tamagotchi kind of just falls to the ground. And you can see like when you pick it up, Fergus, your screen now is in full color. It's like a full color Tamagotchi. The pixels have like been upgraded. So like if it was 8-bit before, it's like 16-bit now. Like it's way leveled up. and like the screen lights up really nicely, and you can see like the little like creature there is like patting its stomach and has like a little Z coming off of it like it's full, and it's just like sleeping kind of. And the robot falls to the ground, and the front of it, like the whole like kind of chest piece and face piece kind of like move upward, and this like kind of decompression of air comes out, and all of you see inside this really handsome, dark-skinned black man. He's got kind of like blonde locks kind of off to one side and like a really fantastic, like award-winning mustache. And he looks like he's kind of like shaking it off. Like he's got blood kind of running down one side of his face, like he's knocked his head about. And you see him kind of try to like extract his arms from the suit. And he stumbles out and kind of falls to the ground. And you see Daisy kind of like go and run to him and like try to check on him and everything. And it's pretty clear, like, this is her dad. Connor, you and I'd imagine everybody except for Teddy probably recognizes him right away because you guys have seen him on the news. You've heard about him. Teddy, he looks vaguely familiar to you, but your mom is so busy with science and like experimentation that she just doesn't, like, it doesn't register completely to you. As you guys are all kind of like crowding over this man and your new friend, and everyone's trying to kind of like just calm down. All of you are breathing heavy, panting. You hear a voice behind you. Hello, heroes. That was spectacular. Your first try, you've captured Killjoy? Yes. Ah, yes. The League needs to know about you. And as you turn around, you see this very kind of curvaceous woman standing there. The sun is kind of like a little lower in the sky, and it's making this really beautiful kind of light around her very voluptuous body. She's very like thick in all the right places. Has like a little bit of a belly in her very skin tight suit, and she's wearing like flat boots, and her whole outfit is like this beautiful blood red. And she's got like this black kind of teardrop on the front of it that seems to have almost like a sparkly kind of matter inside. All of you know this person to be kind of like the right-hand person of the League. Her name is Reina Sangre, so Queen of Blood, and she's there looking at you guys. And she has like her cell phone up, like she's been recording the whole time, and is like this look of like shock on her face. She can barely kind of contain it, and when she kind of looks at you guys, she like turns her phone off and like puts it like, you know, magics it into some pocket that's somewhere in her suit, and comes kind of running over and starts checking on you guys. And as she's like touching your wounds and touching your faces and things like that, they start to kind of knit themselves back together, and she's healing all of you guys with her touch and everything, and checking on each of you, as Daisy kind of like shrinks back a little bit away from her.
Thanks, person. Thank you for helping us with wounds. Yeah.
And for the endorsement.
It's clear you are... yes, of course. It was easy to endorse you, Teddy. It was easy to endorse you. You are such a clear beacon of, I don't know, heroism. It was quite impressive. But you, Fergus, are you the Danger Gal's child?
Yeah, the Danger Dame's kid. Yeah, I'm the one without powers. That's me.
I see. And you want to be a hero, I take it.
I mean, why wouldn't... Yeah, I want to be a hero. I mean, this wasn't the plan. This was kind of... And I think, like, Fergus is going to try and just take all of her attention so it's away from Killjoy and Daisy. Like, okay. Very strategically, just like, oh yeah, like, and just start explaining, like, why they want to be a hero. It's just, I've always, like, seen heroes, and just go into, like, launch into a monologue.
I'm going to take that as provoke someone.
I am indeed.
Like, I know that, like, that's technically, like, a slightly different move, but, like, I feel like it's good here because you're trying to capture her attention. Go ahead and roll, plus superior.
I think my superior, wait. Nope, my superior is a +0. That's fine. I can do this. We can do this. We can let the baddies get away. It's fine. Baddie. That's only a 7. But
That's okay. That's enough. On a 7. So they stumble, and you get +1 for it against them, which doesn't really apply. But they err. You gain a critical opportunity.
I'm gonna do that one.
Okay. So you start to kind of try and like capture her attention. And she's like so mystified by you. She's looking at you almost like you're like a case study, really. Like she's like, you can see her like jotting down notes like into like this little pad. She kind of like magics out of nowhere as you're talking. She's like really interested in what you have to say. The rest of you kind of see Daisy like looking at her dad and like looking at this new person. And she looks like, this woman looks so engaged that she doesn't look over to where Daisy is. But you know that she's seen them because like you guys were all kind of in the middle of this. What are the rest of you doing? Are you trying to kind of assist with that distraction? Are you trying to help them get away? Like, how do you
Grace
feel?
is having an awakening right now.
Okay.
So, Grace like sees the daddy, sees the mommy, and is like, what is that? Like, she's never been in a position to even like remotely have feelings about things. And so like now that things have calmed down, she's literally just in panic mode.
Okay. That's totally fair. You kind of just stand there staring at them. And like every moment that goes by, like the rest of you can't see this, but like there's like a sparkle about this woman. Like she like tosses her hair over her shoulder. It's in slow motion, and like this like little like twinkle like shoots out of her smile when she like looks over at you. And like the daddy is like getting out of like, the thing, and he's like taking off like the Kevlar like outfit that he's got on, and like underneath he reveals like this super like stacked body, like really nicely manscaped chest. He's got like muscles on muscles. Like he kind of picks the suit up in like one arm and starts to kind of like drag it away as he leans on his child, right? And you can see Daisy like looking at you with this like ew face as you're just like feasting on this like really beautiful visage of their dad. They're just like at you in your face, but like you can like see like the sweat dripping down like his face and onto his chest and stuff. And then you like look over at the lady, and the lady's like writing things down, and she's like winking in slow motion. Like it's really intense for you for a minute, and like you kind of snap back to reality for a second, and like these feelings have been very intense, and like people are still like moving around you and doing other stuff this whole time, and you've just been like standing there looking like a weirdo.
That would be me. Yeah. Yep.
Teddy, what are you up to?
Teddy also is standing still like a rock, but I think more just processing that he was praised so readily, and it's a very alien feeling for him. And so I think he's going to wait and look to Connor to see how Connor reacts, because Connor's been kind of his like confidant in what Connor shared with him about his own secrets. And so in this moment where he's feeling like he's coming into himself as a hero, he's going to look to his kind of hero in Connor and see what Connor does and act accordingly. So I will turn it over to Connor first, and then I'll see what Teddy does after.
So now that that Daisy has a distraction, he's gonna go over to Daisy and see what they need. He really wants to look to Daisy and said, Daisy, thank you for everything that you did with this, but I know this is your dad, and what do you need as a friend right now?
So they almost look too embarrassed to meet your gaze. But you can see like after just a split second of doubt that they kind of like look up at you, and very unlike the way they looked at you just hours before in science class, like it's a look of warmth. And they say, yeah, my dad's I mean, you get it, right? Like, dads are fucking weird, man. And I don't know. I'm just gonna help him downstairs. Can you just like put him downstairs so he can go? Can you just like carry him downstairs? Like, he's gonna get himself in trouble. He's already kind of done time. I can't be the reason. Like, this is what he does. He does this. He comes in a suit, and like, I've changed schools like 5 times in 7 years because he just keeps coming, and it's really embarrassing. And like, when I was younger, he would just like come for like, parent teacher day and like, like career day, and like talk about being a villain, and like tell kids like, you don't have to like be bad, you just have to like do bad stuff and you can be a good person. And it was so embarrassing. And like, now this is what he's doing. And like, and you see them like, they just kind of like tear at their hair a little bit and like lose themselves.
So Connor, like, sort of, if it's okay, he puts his hands on her shoulder, their shoulders, and says, I get it. My dad's terrible too. I've got this weight on my shoulders trying to keep up with this whole family legacy thing. I get it. I know exactly what you're thinking. And I said, let's get him out of here. And I grab him and throw him over my shoulder and speed him downstairs.
Okay. So you guys kind of see like Daisy just sort of like look at you guys, and behind the back of Lorena, right behind her back, you guys kind of see like they kind of like lengthen their body almost like Elastigirl and just kind of like dive off the top of the roof. And as she kind of starts wrapping up or whatever, she starts kind of handing out, I know we said that we had a meeting today. It's definitely going to be a good meeting, so you all show up on time. Wow. I can't wait to send this footage in. They're going to be so impressed. All right. You need to get to class. And you all hear the bell ring.
Oh, yeah. It's so nice talking to you. And, thanks like so much. We're super looking forward to seeing you later. I gotta go clean my pants.
Oh, yes, of course. You want to look your best. Nobody wants anyone to think that, the agency hires ragamuffins. So thank you so much. And I will see you later. And you see her just kind of take off. She just like stamps her foot and like rises up, and like it's almost like she's walking up an invisible staircase, like as she's flying through the air. Almost like she's on like a Stairmaster or something. And she just kind of like jaunts off. And you can see like the kind of red streak that she leaves behind, and like these little sparkles kind of follow her as she leaves. You guys all make it to your next class. Everybody in class, the whole room smells disgusting because everybody is covered in pie and puddings and burgers and hot dog juice and disgusting things like that. And the next class, you guys kind of just like sit through it. The rest of the day.
Can I pass a note really quick to Connor, just as a follow up for what he did, kind of running Dad down? Teddy can't. He has like a special pen, like it's a giant, oversized fun pen that he uses to write, and so he's scratching away on this tiny little piece of paper, and so it kind of looks like a serial killer handwriting note, but by now you're able to discern that he says to you, Connor, you were a real hero today, and it doesn't matter what your dad says. And he folds it up messily and chucks it at your head.
It's beautiful.
It whacks me in the head, and I pick it up, and I unfold it, I read it, and I turn, and I just give a thumbs up to Teddy.
Teddy gives you the double thumbs up, and lots of rock dust falls down onto his desk in a little pile.
You all are sitting in your final period lecture, and the day has felt like a week. And you haven't really seen much of your friend. You've looked everywhere for Daisy, can't seem to find them. You're not really sure what's going on. You all kind of got the vibe that they were really nervous about how people would receive them and how things would go. And as you guys kind of like wait for the bell to ring, you feel kind of almost like a shimmering around you. And like there's like a breeze that's suddenly there despite the windows not being open. And paper airplanes fall on each of your desks. When you open them up, inside, kind of with like these really awesome illustrations of like the little mecha guy and like a really pretty illustration of the Reina, right? Of this beautiful superheroine, kind of duking it out with like laser beams crossing. It's like this really like each of you has like a slightly different drawing of what's happened today, but it's basically like, you know, like someone has like a picture of the food fight and, you know, all that stuff. And you see like scrawled there in the middle, in a very clearly left-handed penmanship, a date, which is today, a time, which is after your meeting, and a big heart. And it says, Daisy, coffee's on me. And that's where we're going to end it.
That was so fun.
I'm so glad you guys had fun. Thank you for being here with me on my birthday.
Thank
This
you.
was so
Candace.
good. Yay.
Oh my God, that was amazing.
Yay.
So fun.
That was excellent.
My heart is warmed.
Yay. That is what I wanted. Warm hearts.
Oh my God.
Warm hearts with action. And Aunt May doesn't have to die.
Every time with her.
Maybe in the sequel. Maybe in the sequel.
Maybe in the sequel.
Oh my
Maybe.
God.
It's okay though, because, you know, Jen can just like summon her and she can, you know, give you all of her advice from beyond the grave.
There you go.
That was
It'll be all right.
hilarious. Grandma.
Oh my god. it was
That
so
was
definitely
good.
something
so
your
many
grandmother
good
would do.
scenes.
Gigantic thank you
So
to
good.
Insight Checked for having me at her table. This was phenomenal. I'm really glad this is the first time I've run masks and it was super duper fun. I'm really, really thrilled that I got to do this. Thank you so much to my fantastic cast for just like being just ready with some spectacular moments. Just really like jumping into that kind of cinematic vibe that I was trying to go for. Like you guys just like picked up what I was putting down and I really like that means the world to me. Special shout out to Teehee for filling in at the last moment. Really, really thank you for coming in and just being just all around awesome. All of you guys just mean so much to me, and I'm so thankful that this is how I got to spend my birthday. Yeah,
We are,
Yeah, just
we are
really
so
good.
grateful that you spent your birthday with us. And I just want to wrap by doing outros for everyone, you know, share what you're working on, projects that you're doing. We do have something that's going to be happening during this end sequence, and I can't quite tell when it's going to happen, but we'll pause and let it happen when it does. And that's vague and cryptic. But on that note,
it scares me.
it's all good things. But on that note, let's have everyone outro themselves and share who they are and what they're working on and where we can find you on the internet. And let's start with you, Candace.
Hi, Candace the Magnificent. You can find me at that Candace girl on Twitter. Until I change it, maybe we'll see. I don't know. At that Candace girl on Twitter. You can find me at Candace the Magnificent on Twitch, YouTube, and Instagram. I have a bunch of stuff coming up that I can't talk about. Oh, wow. Okay.
It's happening.
I guess it's happening. Oh, Jesus.
We
I
have
did
a
it.
little birthday surprise for our GM. We
Yes.
have a cake that we're
Oh my
going
God.
to sing happy
Wait,
birthday
what is
to you.
happening?
Happy
God.
birthday to
birthday
you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Candace.
This is so beautiful.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. This is the biggest surprise. Oh my
The
goodness.
child came over and started singing for you too. Just like ran over here.
So cute.
Yay!
Please thank your little.
Happy
Thanks.
birthday!
Thank you so much.
birthday.
Oh my God. Thank you. I'm so touched. I did not expect that. Thank you.
I'm
Oh my
so
goodness.
glad.
It's my birthday. And you
Yeah.
can find me at that assortment of places on the internet. You should come to my streams because I'm always crying apparently. So definitely do that. Whether I'm playing Spirit Fair or playing music that makes me cry, you just come on by. And yeah, that's me.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Candace. Happy birthday. Thank you again for spending your birthday with us and jamming such a wonderful game. We had so much
Absolutely.
fun. Thank you.
Thank you
We
so
did.
much.
Next to my somewhat left, stage outlaw Bob. Let's hear from you.
Hey, I'm Bob McDonald, Stage Outlaw, on Twitter and Instagram. I play games. I play games with Carrie Smith a lot. I do a lot of her APs. I'm in her Deadlands AP. I'm in her Glass Chronicles AP. I'm in a bunch of her other one shots and fun things that she's doing. If you want to go see her, get to her streams. She's on YouTube at the Carrie Smith 2012, I think. Subscribe. She's doing some wonderful stuff. I also do games with Todd Moonbounce and now with Inside Checked. Absolutely. If you want me to play in your game, I'd be glad to figure it out. Slide me a DM and I'll figure it out. We'll have a game.
Awesome. Thank you so much for playing tonight. It was great having you on, and you're always welcome back at the table.
I had a blast. I will always come back.
Wonderful. And to my slightly also left, Jen, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Jen. I'm your chaotic mixed Korean TTRPG / do other random things all over the internet. You can find me at Jen Geeky. I have some stuff coming up, but I also get to play in a lovely game with the lovely Candace because we're doing Tales of Waterdeep, where we get to play rodents that run around in Waterdeep. So come check out Tuxedo Squirrel. It's good. It's a good time.
Oh, I'm allowed to talk about that. Thank you for talking about it.
Because we did the episode 1. Yeah, we couldn't talk about it for a long time. So now we can talk about it.
Yeah.
And I'll also be on Latinx Gaming's channel next week to play Emerald Templars with D'Angelo. So come check that out. And we're doing Vampire the Masquerade, different game. But yeah, come hang out. I play a lot of games, and I actually, for my day job, I'm the director of spicy content creators over at Tyrus Talent Services. So if you ever have any questions about content creation or going full time or doing the thing, you let me know, and we will make it happen.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jen. Always lovely having you at the table. I feel like we are always players together, so I hope I get to GM a game for you at some point. And you're always welcome back. Everyone's always welcome back. I feel like I'm like gonna forget to say that to someone, but like just blanket statement, like please come back. You guys are great. And to my not left but below me, Piper, please introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, I'm Piper or Peppa or Matihi. You can find me on Twitter at Maddie Matihi. You can also find me on Twitch at Matihi. I'm doing a few things. In a couple weekends, we're doing our third part of our charity stream, The Legends of the Stellar Sea Dogs, written by All the Webs of Stage. You can find them over on TikTok, and there's a bunch of other people who are in that, which is really fun. Raising money for some various charities and stuff, which is good. We still got to pick the one that we're doing for part 3, but it's good. Probably something Canadian. But you can also find me. I'll be more on my channel in September we're doing our large gigantic campaign called What We Do in the Shallows, which is a queer pirate TTRPG. Very gay, very horny. Everyone is horny as fuck in the cast, and I'm very excited. But yeah, have that. And I'm in a lot of other places and eventually doing more APs and stuff, which I am always mostly available, kind of, sort of. Oh, I'm on my partner Emma Panada's channel. We just got married this past weekend. Thank you.
At Gen Con.
Yeah, we got married. I'm over on their channel. That's at Emma Panada, running a Curse of Lady Strahd game. It's a queer venture into Barovia. Basically all the problematic shit from Curse of Strahd removed. And all the children aged up because there's way too much of that in Curse of Strahd. So, but yeah, that's me. And thank you so much. I had such a great time. I'm glad I could step in. Yeah, it was really fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here. It was great playing with you. I have heard about your upcoming game. I've seen you on different things, so it's great to be at the table with you.
That was so exciting.
Yes, and again, Blanket, please come back. But yes, thank you all so much. Thank you again to Candace, and thank you, fellow players. I'm Allison. I'm Insight Checked. You're watching my channel if you are enjoying things, or even if you're not and you want to tell us how to do things better, follow us. That's your penance. Follow us and stay connected. We do a lot of this. So we do a lot of collaborative storytelling. We do a lot of TTRPG stuff. I have a collaboration with Detect Magic called Story Crafters that I'm really excited about, where we combine the crafting and the TTRPG world. So if you know one and you want to learn the other, you collaborate with us, come on the stream, learn how to crochet, and play a game of Brindlewood Bay. So we are taking applications for that, and I'm very, very excited about that mashup. I see a hand raised.
I'd like to volunteer as tribute.
Wonderful. Wonderful. We will take you into the old lady crochet circle gladly.
I have half a scarf done.
Perfect.
I need motivation to finish it.
Yes. Yes, there's a lot of that co-motivating craft finishing. But yeah, that's really exciting. And then Monster of the Week coming up. Candace will be in that game. So that is a very exciting upcoming project. Yet to work out a name, but Monster of the Week is always spicy, so come take a look. And then I play narrative video games on Thursdays, and I'm pretty bad at them, but we have a good time anyway.
That's not true. She's really good.
It's I mean, not true, but
You
we do have a good
lasted
time.
through how scary Outer Wilds has been.
It is true.
like, you're
I'm
a
on the
rock
other
star to
side of
me.
it. But yes, I think the best thing about this is telling stories together with wonderful people. So thank you for making all of that happen today. And a big happy birthday again to you, Candace. And thank you, chat, for hanging out. And I guess we should raid someone, right? Yes, we should. Okay. You thought I was going to quit, but we never quit. We find someone to raid. Let us raid.
So we're the only people on that I know, but when in doubt, turtles and chill.
Oh, Turtles and Chill
Mhm.
is always
The
classy.
Monty Hall.
You know
also.
what?
Well,
Let's
Monty Hall's
raid-
playing Phasmo.
Let's raid into Detect Magic, my collaborator for the
Oh,
craft stream.
yes.
Let's go see some
Awesome.
crafts,
Let's
Do
everyone.
it.
But yes, thank you all so much and have a great night. Take good care,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Hey, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.